Grace and peace, everybody. Grace and peace. We are back. I know that court is back in session. They're back to horse trading and listening to speculative suspect wiretap calls. I know they are. I really wish they would stop. But I promised you all when I got on this morning, we're going to start doing like 9 to 12 and then like 3 to 6 or something like that. But I want to make sure that I at least respect it, because I know some of you all really want to watch what's going on in the trial, and I think that's fair. Even though there's some high level of horse trading going on, I did want to at least respect that. So we're going to jump back in to that in a second. But I did want to be respectful. I told you all this morning that I had the wildest non-YSL related story you probably have ever heard. I promise you, you've never heard anything this utterly ridiculous. And it brought my attention because one of the reasons why I use things like gerbils, I talk about gerbils a lot, or just these real out and left field things, because being a former classroom teacher, you don't want to, say things that the kids are going to take home and misunderstand or maybe misconvey, whatever like that. So you don't want to say anything that could possibly be perceived as being real. So one of the things I usually do, and you've probably heard me talk about it all the time, I talk about little Tommy, little Sally, little Bobby, little Patty, those kind of people like that, because those are never kids that were in the classroom. Or I'll say go down to Miss Butterfly's classroom, or we had Mr. Caterpillar's room, whatever like that, because those are never teachers that were in the room. So another thing is gerbils. So anytime anything was ever done that was, you're trying to give an example of bad behavior, I would always just use gerbils, because nobody would actually heard a gerbil, or so I thought. Today, this video that I'm about to show you absolutely stunned me because it has gerbils in it. I've never heard a newscast, I've never heard police talk about gerbils before. So I literally passed out laughing this morning because I was like, you got to be kidding me. This can't be real. There is so much unreal in this story that I think you all are going to be like, I can't believe this is real. So down in the description of the video, I actually put the link to the video we're about to watch and the actual body cam footage of this incident, so you can see that it's real, because it sounds so fake that you almost think that, okay, this can't be real. This has got to be a joke. I had to go find it to prove that this really is real. So in the link, in the description are the links to these videos that we're going to watch. So real quick, let's bring this in. This is a Tozy YouTuber, does a great job of just giving social commentary. He's a funny guy. He comes up with some of the funniest things to review. He's going to talk about this story, and I just want y'all to watch it. It's hilarious.
What is going on in Ohio, dog? Well, meet Matthew Pancake. Yes, that's his real name. And he was recently arrested in Ohio for breaking into a pet store and freeing all the animals. He then grabbed about 4 gerbils, stuffed them in his leopard printed onesie, ran down a couple blocks, and then passed out on a bench. For most people, that just sounds like a far-fetched fever dream, but I guess for Matthew Pancake, that's just a Tuesday morning. So today, we're gonna take a look at how the Ohio man is giving the Florida man a run for his money. So it all starts the Tuesday morning, July 9th in Columbus, Ohio, where police received reports of a man dressed in a leopard onesie broke into a Rooster's restaurant. But when they arrived to the scene, he was no longer there. But across the street, there was another store by the name of Petland that was also broken into. When police arrived to the scene there, they saw animals were just running all over the place.
A brazen intruder has forced his way into a pet store, smashing windows and releasing animals from their cages. As the animals run loose in the parking lot near Columbus, Ohio, cops desperately try to round them up, even the birds.
Then they realized the shoe store next door was also broken into, but he wasn't there either. Then they found the guy a couple blocks away sleeping on a bench, and probably had the most comedic body cam arrest I've seen in a long time. I have to blur it here for obvious reasons, but just listen to this audio.
You're not ready. Just listen to this. And again, I put the full video is down in the description, so you can actually go watch what's blurred out. It's so comical. I promise you, you're going to be like, yo, this can't be real. This, what is this? Columbus, Ohio is not real. Let's go. Let's finish this.
Pancake, you're under arrest.
Don't move.
Get on your belly. Get on your belly.
On your belly. On your belly.
Roll. Get on your belly, Mr. Pancake.
Get on your belly.
In the name of the law, Pancake, get on your belly.
I mean, that sounds like something from a South Park episode, but sadly, that's just the reality in Ohio, apparently. Clearly, they knew exactly who this guy was, or else they wouldn't be screaming his name. So this guy must be a frequent nuisance for this police department. And after searching it up, that would be correct, because he was also arrested last year for breaking and entering as well.
Well, on today's mark, boys.
Yeah.
Here comes, watch this.
Good job, Mr. Pancakes.
Then we find them eventually. Where are the gerbils?
Where are the gerbils?
What a question.
Damaging.
Oh, God, there is
Using animals? Oh, there are gerbils in there. Yeah, definitely animal abuse.
What the heck? I got a gerbil. What the heck?
Multiple gerbils.
In his pants.
Multiple gerbils recovered.
Yes. We're just advising that our suspect has multiple gerbils in his pants.
The fact that this isn't a comedy sketch is what makes this so incredible. This is just a phenomenal anti-substance ad. Stay off the substances, kids, or else you might wake up one day on a bench, being arrested in a leopard suit with gerbils crawling out of your pants leg.
Have any more pets?
Do you have any more gerbils on you?
Please don't tell me you put a gerbil somewhere else.
I have my shears.
For your safety, is there a gerbil inside you?
I have my shears. And cut further up that pant leg.
That is such a cursed but valid question given the context. Imagine the face of this poor public defender that gets this guy's case. Also, speaking of that, this dude...
Okay, I want to stop right here because I did think that was funny. I was like, wait, hold on. This dude is going to go to court. There might be a jury that's responsible. Think about this story. Now, I don't think it'll be as long and drawn out and protracted as this YSL case, but this could actually be a real story. Like, yo, that is the wildest thing. Okay, finish up, Jason.
Dude is pleading not guilty for all counts. Breaking and entering, he's caught on camera. It's not like there's too many other dudes breaking into stores in a leopard onesie on a Tuesday morning in Columbus, Ohio. Then you have the theft, which can't really be that hard to prove considering the stolen merchandise is literally crawling out of his pants leg as he's being arrested. This is actually worse than the guy who was in court for stealing a Miami Dolphins jersey, and then he showed up to court in the stolen Miami Dolphins jersey. Either way, I feel like Matthew Pancakes is definitely being represented by a Saul Goodman-like attorney.
A calm and wide-eyed Matthew Pancake was arraigned this morning, a different look from when we last saw him early yesterday. Police found him sleeping on a bench. They later helped him into a police cruiser. The leopard print onesie-wearing man now charged with breaking and entering and vandalism involving 3 Hilliard area stores, including a Petland.
Officers were able to corral as many animals as they could. They corralled several bunnies, birds, I believe a hamster, and a couple of puppies.
I'm actually kind of surprised he wasn't hit with any animal abuse charges here, as he recklessly endangered the lives of dozens of animals.
Those animals were recovered safely, as were a few puppies, birds, and last night, 2 rabbits.
Steve Ohio versus Matthew Pancake.
Today, after prosecutors laid out the facts of the case, a judge handed down a $10,000 bail and ordered him to stay away from those businesses.
Yeah, you can buy a lot of hamsters for $10,000. There was literally zero upside here. What a bizarre case. I would like to think that he was inspired by that kid's book, Goodnight Gorilla, or maybe Madagascar, and just decided to free the animals from captivity. But I also just kind of feel like there's a way simpler explanation here, that he is just a junkie looking for something to sell to fund his addictions. Hence why he broke into multiple stores before the pet store. But what even makes that simple conclusion funny is he decided to opt to steal hamsters rather than the shoes from the shoe store he also broke into. Do I steal sneakers with a proven resale market or $10 hamsters? Again, stay off the substances, kids, because clearly you're going to make some terrible decisions on them, as the guy made so many bad decisions in just a couple of hours. Me from the future here, apparently there was more to this story, as there was also a witness.
So have you heard about the guy who broke into Petland?
Yes.
I'm looking right at him. He's asleep on a bench.
Christian Thompson says she was hanging out with several of her friends when they were approached by officers asking if they'd seen the suspect.
He said leopard print, covered in blood, and a pocket full of gerbils.
As they drove through the parking lot, they spotted the suspect and called 911.
So we knew he was nearby, but we didn't expect him to be like less than 30 feet away.
I mean, this is just such a bizarre story to cover. I can only imagine what it was like to witness this madness. The only shame here is that this didn't happen in Florida, because it would have been really cool to see this man in GTA 6. But I mean, hey, at least the guy that we covered a little over a week ago, the quadriplegic man, El Valiente, he was in Florida, so maybe they'll put him in GTA 6 somehow. One can only hope, though.
Matthew Pancake was sleeping outside another store with hamsters in his pants.
It's very odd. Obviously, we don't know what this individual is going through. I don't know if this is a narcotics-induced thing or something going on, but this is very bizarre behavior.
You think?
Most of the animals have been brought back, including a bird found outside a neighboring business. The pet store's owner says a veterinarian was called to make sure they've all got a clean bill of health as the cleanup continued.
I love how just everyone is in disbelief that this happened. At least the good news here is, from what we can see, the animals were completely fine. But either way, thank you, Matthew Pancake. Very cool. Definitely a Hall of Famer when it comes to being an Ohio man. Speaking of which, do we have any other recent Ohio man Hall of Famers here? Okay. We have Ohio man illegally dumped 3,000 tires. Why?
I didn't know that was a thing.
He had a whole tire dumping operation. Ohio with their oddball crimes. And speaking of which, Ohio man and business owner sentenced after dumping 7,000 gallons of ammonia into a river and killing over 43,000 fish. My brother in Christ, why? I guess tire guy and ammonia guy, I'm assuming convenience. That's the only reason they would do that, right? Ohio man plans to take a 2-person sub to the wreck of Titanic to prove industry is safe after the submersible implosion. Oh, well, that already played out terribly. Good luck to them. But hey, at least now you guys have been updated to everything revolving the Ohio men in recent times. But hey, I mean, at least none of them were TikTok dentists, because some of these TikTok dentists are now being thrown in prison for their incredibly shady practices. And you can check out that full story here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
All right. I just thought that was hilarious. And I said I was going to tell you a story. So I just thought that was a good one. And we're going to jump back into the infamous horse trading debacle, which is, in my opinion, a debacle, which is the YSL trial. So let's get that back up and get it ready to go. Here it is. Let's go. Wait, they got technical issues again?
I already told them for but folks family gonna be talking crazy anyway. Like they gonna be like, we don't want no money, nothing. Like they gonna be tripping.
Yeah, you know how.
That's how they shit be, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, damn.
And why I know he just like, man, he just respect it. He just know how that shit is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never see what the hell you had going on. I just you know.
I'm pull up on you like tonight or tomorrow or something.
Alright.
Alright.
Alright, so I can see the part about needing to get drugs and money to, drugs to sell coming in as a co-conspirator statement. The rest of it, you're gonna have to flesh out a little bit more how that is anything more than them just kind of talking about stuff that's already happened and a funeral that's gonna happen, but that isn't a part of any kind of conspiracy.
Understood, Your Honor. And also, because this came up again on this call, one of the Quay that they mentioned very briefly, there is, I don't know definitively they're talking about this individual, but one of the individuals at Waters Road is Quaytez is his first name, last name Arnold. So they may potentially, in reference of who was at Waters Road with them, be referring to that individual just through context. But number two, a key part of this call that the state wanted to introduce was when, in the state's reading of this call, when they laugh about, I heard that someone got flipped, they flipped a car under by the bridge in the Ville.
Yeah, I heard.
And then they kind of laugh in a way that's like an inside joke laughter. And Demikion Garlington is one of the individuals charged with Chanel Drink's murder. And so when they make that comment, that specific comment, to answer the court's question, I believe that them laughing and saying that, I don't know. I guess the truth of the matter of that would be that there was someone whose car was flipped in the Ville. I mean, the state believes they're talking about Chanel Drinks, but it's not saying that he's confessing to that, but it's the fact that they're laughing, saying that I think that the state believes is important in terms of when they make that comment, that reaction that they both have kind of instantaneously is an important contextual detail of how they discuss kind of light reference to something that's eerily similar to the murder of Chanel Drinks. And so that specific portion, the state believes has a non-hearsay purpose, which is really their laughter
Okay.
to that statement.
Mhm.
The state does agree in terms of,
That's
I
a
know we
reach.
initially stated, or
me
what we
guess.
provided was the entire call,
Uh-huh.
but so the state, what I will do, Your Honor, is to provide clarity for both defense counsel and the court, is I would like to, I can by tomorrow at least have the state's proposed time hacks of what
Okay.
we would play so that we can address it tomorrow efficiently,
Okay.
because I don't want to, if the court permits.
Okay. I'll let you do that.
And does that include addressing the issue concerning that name, Lil Quay? Again, that gets us into that same issue. While the state says they have a theory on who they believe that person is, who is not Mr. Marquavius Huey, we again are left with this confusing, misleading information concerning Quay again. So I would ask the court to take that into consideration as well. We believe, again, we think that it's a confusion.
I mean, that reference was to Lil Quay and it wasn't to him, whoever Lil Quay is, doing anything wrong. So,
Well, again,
I mean,
agree.
if you want to come up with some instruction that, I mean, I can't give an instruction that says you may hear a reference to a Quay in this call. That's not Marquavius Huey, because I don't know whether it is or not. So, I mean, I can't give that instruction. I'm not sure quite what you want me to give. Hey, a lot of people go by Quay.
Well, I want you to help me out with 403 and how sometimes evidence should be left out if it's confusing and misleading to the extent that it
Well,
causes a jury that has.
It may be that part of this is not in the more narrow, so let's talk about that
Thank you, Judge.
whenever we come back to that.
Thank you.
All right, remind me.
Yes, Your Honor.
We're reserving argument.
Yeah, we're just gonna, no point arguing if
Right.
it ends up being two little things that,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, we'll just come back to this one.
Where's the B team? Where's defense? I mean,
Sure,
the
but
state.
let's find out what they are first. And give me a second. I mean, you can be queuing it up, but I've got to write myself notes so I know why we're coming back.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, ready.
Yes, Your Honor. So the next call is going to be 635, PDF page 635, reference number 624.
All right. So what's going to be like the significance
Yes, Your
of
Honor.
this, and why do y'all think this comes in?
So, Your Honor, this is Demekion Garlington speaking to the caller about the search warrant on Waters Road, and says that Miss V is on them, in the state's theory referencing Detective Viverito.
Okay.
He calls the individual on this call Unc, like UNC. I don't exactly, the state does not know who definitively he's talking with as Unc. I would like to reserve this one because to know with this, the topic of this discussion, it's more important than in other situations where someone's like asking for a gun or trying to get drugs, of this individual's relationship with the street gang.
Okay.
If I could add this to one to discuss tomorrow.
Sure. So we can come back to this one.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
513, we're coming back to in 624, or it's 523,
523 and
635.
635. Yeah.
This case would not exist if they
And
could
Your Honor,
not
on a
use
similar
hearsay.
vein, this is the only other one I see coming up recently. 820, which is PDF page 820, reference number 806. It's the same number, same individual.
So come back to that one.
Yes,
too?
Your Honor. Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Yeah, I don't know who this young lady is.
So, Your Honor, the next call is 1079. Excuse me. Is that right? Okay. Yeah. This call's on March 21st, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to add this before you listen. I just want the court to know that my client, Mr. Stillwell and Mr. Nichols, had been arrested by this time.
All right. Thank you.
And so, Your Honor, in the states, what the state highlighted in this call, just before we play it, is they say that SHIT just came in, and Unfunk, who is Defendant Williams' brother, has already pled out on this indictment, just called and told me to pull up. The state believes that they're talking about some type of contraband drugs when they say that it just
Yeah, I
came
done
in
spoke
and
'em
told me
up.
to pull up. The reason the state, I don't definitively know. It's not like I have a eyes on Garlington and he goes and picks up a bag of drugs, but it's in the context of other wiretap calls where Garlington is primarily selling Percocets. And so that's why the state wanted to highlight this, because it speaks somewhat in code and also references another co-conspirator when he says, the shit just came in, Unfunk just called and told me to pull up, which is like in reference to going to get it from another co-conspirator, at least in the state's theory.
Okay.
And Your Honor, this is a very brief portion. We're going to start at 26 seconds and end at 31 seconds.
Yep. They called, so I said,
For the record, we're starting at 23 seconds, Your Honor.
man, what is that? I said, shit, they came in. One for that called, so he go, so he pull up that now. He get 9 times.
Any argument on this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Once again, too long on guesses and too short on facts. It's just an assumption. It's the fact-free world of conjecture.
Their argument is a reasonable inference that could be made by a jury from this evidence. That's all that's really required. So how about an evidentiary objection? Any of those?
Relevance 401.
Relevant to their argument that part of what the enterprise engaged in was illegal drug sales. So overruled.
Your Honor, the next call is PDF page 1124, reference number 1109. This is on March 21st. The key part of this call, and the state's intending to play 17 seconds to 19 seconds, is the individual says, "I'm trying to get the weed, answer your FaceTime," which again goes to the state's theory of before and after or during criminal activity, they utilize FaceTimes so that what is discussed can't be recorded and phone logs or phone references are not tracked.
Yo.
For the record, Your Honor, we're starting at 14 seconds.
What's it? Yeah. Okay. Calm what you doing? I'm trying to get the weed. What is it? D? Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna call you. Matter of fact, I'm see your FaceTime. I'm right here at the spot. I'm see your FaceTime. 1, 2. All right.
And Your Honor, we ended up playing it till 29 seconds. I think that was a typo. It was meant to be 17 seconds to 29 seconds.
Any argument? An objection?
Same thing. Again, it's speculation. I'm trying to get some weed. That could be to smoke a doobie over a steak that night.
Could be. Nonetheless,
Harvey is the
eventually
best,
speaking,
man.
It is admissible under the co-conspirator exception.
Well,
Stop messing with Harvey.
Remember now, Mr. Stillwell and Mr. Nichols are incarcerated. So if somebody else is out there trying to do something on their own, it may not be admissible against Mr. Stillwell. and
I'm
Mr.
just
Nichols.
not buying the concept that just because somebody is in jail, they're no longer a part of an ongoing conspiracy. I mean, in an ideal world, that might be true. But there's, and that'll, y'all have to, if you want to make that argument or present evidence that it all stops, then
Well, it presumptively stops them upon arrest. I've heard no argument to you or any proffered facts that either one of these gentlemen continued to be involved in the drug conspiracy on the outside after their arrest. The presumption is the arrest stops it.
well, I mean, I guess at least as to Mr. Stillwell, I might need to revisit the whole thing about drugs found in his cell.
Oh my goodness.
I was just about to say, because the Harvey rule is in effect,
You're opting out of that
I
one?
am opting out of Mr. Harvey's argument, and I'm opting out of the Harvey rule.
That would be smart of you for this particular argument.
Why?
So, I mean, he might have something as to Mr. Nichols with regard to this, unless y'all got something that would suggest that it's on, this is something that Mr. Nichols continued to be involved with, because I do think the law is kind of that arrest kind of is a pause on certain things, so.
Your Honor, what we will research for the court is, because this, for example, the call we just played was on March 21st of 2022. Certainly both charge counts and overt acts in this indictment in the conspiracy occur after that, as recent, at least in the indictment, as May 9th, 2022, where the search was at the home of defendant Williams with drugs and firearms. With all that said, also you have incidents that happened in both Fulton County Jail and three-way calls from individuals in prison. So it's the state's theory.
Do any of those involve Mr. Nichols?
Well, it's the state's contention that because of the RICO conspiracy they do, because he hasn't avowed himself or disavowed the conspiracy in this specific conspiracy as alleged by the state, and believes the evidence will come in, shows that this conspiracy operates quite easily and effectively within both prison and jail, as in the attempted murder of Mr. Rayshawn Bennett, as in some of these happened since the case has been in trial. So the state, we will find research on this specific issue, because I am aware of what the court's referencing in terms of if you had a drug conspiracy case and one individual, not a RICO, not a gang count, but just two individuals in a drug conspiracy, there's some case law about if one of them went to prison or jail, was confined, you couldn't hold their separate one unless they were somehow communicating. I think the RICO and street gang changes that calculus, but I'll find case law to back that up, Your Honor.
Thank you.
The next call that we will be going to is PDF page 1155 and reference number 1140. This is a March 21st, 2022 call. The state, this is not confirmed, but the gang experts believe that this is Unfunk, Mr. Greer, who was referenced, but it's not confirmed. Okay. But what is said and why the state wanted to play this is everything's dying down. So, and then it has a couple expletives. It basically says these people think that they're up. We are supposed to get out of town for a little. I'm telling you, man. And it's the state's belief that in the world of criminal street gangs being up, there's references, not specifically on this wiretap or in this call, but from APD gang detectives about like, it's like a scoreboard, or so being up on someone is like we have more murders or more violent acts on you. So we have the dominance over you. And so that's why the state wants to play this when it says everything's dying down after there's been murders of YSL members. They've been shooting up Waters Road. And then it says we're supposed to get out of town. That's why the state wanted to play this part.
Okay.
And 14 seconds through 46 seconds is the portion the state tends to play. We'll probably start at the beginning just to give some context, Your Honor.
One thing to him, yeah, that shit, FaceTime shit was tripping. I said, let me know, I'm gonna pull up. Oh yeah, nigga, you already know, man. We just gotta move, everything dying down. So now these fuck niggas think they, yeah. That's how we're going on. Everything dying down. Yeah. You know how they go. That's why we pulled goddamn went out of town for a little minute, bro. These niggas they wanted me to pay for the shit. And nobody want to put in their money to pay, bro. For real. Anybody hesitate to put in to pay for the fucking Airbnb? I'm like,
that's the part the state needs to play on.
Okay.
So clearly, this case would be nowhere. This case would be nothing.
No doubt that Mr. Garlington is a talker, but not everything he says furthers the conspiracy. And this is just two people being chatty.
Thank you, Ms. Manning.
It's just idle chatter and not in furtherance of any aspect of this conspiracy.
All right, I'm gonna admit that under the co-conspirator exception, appears that they're still contemplating future moves as a group.
Move as a team, never move
next
alone.
Our next one is reference number 1163, PDF page number 1181. And the part that the state wants to introduce is Garlington is speaking with DeMarco Boyer, whose nickname is Little Co. And so he says, I'm fixing to have Co pull up and give him that stick.
Okay.
And so the state wanted to just highlight the exchange of firearms and reference to firearms in their own. So the state will play it. We're playing the entire call. I believe it's quite short.
Where you at? I'm finna have Cody pull up, give him that the stick. All right.
This is wild.
All right.
When I have this Excel spreadsheet on my computer, I think I read the one above. That's what Deputy Hilton was. Who he was speaking with is a female, but he's talking about Mr. Boyer, as in he's telling this female he's going to have Mr. Boyer get his stick.
All right. That seems to be covered under co-conspirator exception. Are there other objections besides that? I mean,
Again, Mr. Nichols is incarcerated, telling somebody else is going to pull up with a stick. I don't see how that is in the course of
all
it.
right. Well, we're waiting on that law.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
just reserve my objection, please.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Harvey's had enough of this
I mean,
mess.
I'll email it to the court and everyone, but it's, I think, United States versus Harding, Harding. It's 2024 United States Appeal, Lexus 14995. It was decided June 20th of this year. It's in Division 3A, as in Elisa. And it does say what Mr. Harvey said. Generally, a co-conspirator participation in a conspiracy ends with his arrest.
Oh, yeah, no, I know that's the general rule. What I'm looking for law on is what are the exceptions? When is that not the case? So, yeah, no, I thank you. That maybe wasn't clear about that. I'm looking for what I just said. Okay.
So, Your Honor, the next call is reference number 1205, PDF page 1224. And this is Garlington talking with Mr. Wright, whose street name is WOT, where Mr. Garlington and Mr. Watt, like you've heard reference about 30 deep, it comes up with Mr. Copeland. And so they were 30 deep. Mr. Garlington was 30 deep and then became YSL, but that is who he's speaking with. And the state is going to be playing 904 to 1032.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. He got a lawyer, right?
They say, bro, gotta get out of boy money. Say you gonna get burned, and the other nigga you gonna get out of like.
Man, the shot with the clothes got locked up for it.
Nah, they would when they said they looking for him. I just talked to him the other day. Back to that yesterday, 2 days ago.
That's the shot on the low, like, oh hell no.
Yeah, boy, he keep calling. Yeah, he D, bro. What the hell going on? I'm like, shit, but I don't know.
Damn. He called me like, what's going on?
He calling everybody.
He just drunk.
Yeah, yeah. What I did that?
Yeah, I knew it.
Well, you know how that shit, you brother need to gonna have to ride. Nigga know you gonna get through it, but I just know a nigga like, well, nigga ain't did nothing, bro.
That little Jonathan ride, OD?
Man, I
mean, you don't
don't know.
really never know. They don't have no choice. They be saying you don't have no choice. Like,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? In real life, like, you ain't got no choice. You gotta go however long they for ride until they let you go.
Yeah. I said, them boys gonna be good, but wow, don't put my name in that shit.
Oh, hell.
And Your Honor, we're going to back up just a little bit. We just started a couple seconds before when the context for this portion to start. And for the record, we're going to start at 8 minutes and 35 seconds.
To the house tomorrow.
Oh.
She came by herself.
Oh, okay. So she had cake.
Yeah, I had my phone on. I wanted to see the news and shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what?
You still been talking to that little hoe?
Who?
Who you with all that did that first?
When?
I said, AB, you still been talking to that little hoe? Who you with?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He got a lawyer, right?
They say, brother, to get out of them boy one. Say he gonna get Brian and the other nigga he gonna get out of it. Like,
man, the shot with the clothes got locked up for it.
Nah, they who the one they said they looking for. I just talked to them the other day. About 2 days, yesterday, 2 days ago.
I said the shot on the low, like, oh hell no.
Hell yeah, boy, he keep calling. Yeah, he be, bro. What the hell going on? I'm like, shit, but I don't know.
Damn. He called me like, what's going on?
Man, he calling everybody.
He just drunk.
Yeah. What I did that?
Yeah, I knew it.
But you know how that shit, you brother need to gonna have to ride. Nigga know you gonna get through it, but I just know a nigga like, well, nigga ain't did nothing, bro.
And we still gotta listen to this when we're gonna still have to listen to this during the trial when the jury back. This is so whack.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? In real life, like, you ain't got no choice. You gotta go however long they for ride until they let you go.
Yeah. I said, them boys gonna be good, but wow, don't put my name in that shit.
Oh hell no, I'm dead. Y'all.
That's the portion, Your Honor. It's the state's theory that when he says bro is going to give all the boys money, he is referring to defendant Williams.
How do you know that though?
A common theme that the state has put forth argument on to the court. That's why the state wanted to include this in terms of when criminal street gang activity occurs, trying to further the conspiracy through that. That's a common argument the court's heard about the relevancy of that, Your Honor.
That's not reaching.
What about the rest of it?
So, Your Honor, they when they mention Little Shorty got locked up for the clothes, Miles Farley, who was charged with, he's one of the individuals charged with Chanel Drink's murder. He had a clothing line like Keep America Slime. And so that when they say, this comes up a couple times in the wiretap, and it's going to come up kind of frequently because you're going to hear later about YFN and some Goodfellas, which is another street gang members, attacked Miles Farley when he was in the Fulton County Jail. But people reference him in terms of Little Shorty who sells the clothes. And so it shows familiarity with, and he was not on this date of March 22nd. I do not believe he was not arrested yet. And so that was the portions that the state, and then they say he's just going to have to ride, don't put my name in this. And at the time, of course, Mr. Garlington is not arrested either for this. And so we're going to get in a couple calls where he gets nervous when he hears about stuff on the news or they're worn out because when he's making these calls, he's obviously not incarcerated.
Okay. I mean, I respect him, Atkins. I respect him. He's very clear.
In regards to the second part of that call, it is Mr. Garlington giving his retrospective version of events and talking about what Mr. Farley is feeling to, apparently the state believes this is Mr. Wright. I don't know how this kind of, again, idle chatter about what Mr. Farley is going through and everything else, while the state might believe that's relevant, it still has to fall under a hearsay exception. And this sort of chatter is not furthering the conspiracy. And so, I mean, I see the state's argument about relevance, but again, they need that hook to fit through a hearsay exception.
Is there some other meaning to when he says he's just gonna have to ride? Y'all have a theory as to what that means? I'm so sorry. Are we just gonna have to ride with a theory as to what they mean by that?
So the state's theory in this context is essentially he's going to have to ride it out. Like when Farley he didn't have any criminal history to my knowledge before this happened. And so what ends up happening is when he goes to Fulton County Jail and some of these calls that come up, they try to get protection for him. And so they're basically like, he needs to ride it out, not tell on anyone, not, panic and just stay the course. That's what I believe that they're talking about.
All right.
That's the state's theory.
Okay. I mean, I would think, I thought that might be what the theory was, but I mean, that sounds like them still sort of, here's our plan for how we're going to handle this as we, the enterprise, go through it.
Well, the way I hear it, Your Honor, respectfully, is that Garlington may opine like that's what Mr. Farley needs to do, but there's no directive or plan to convey that to Mr. Farley, as far as I can see in this call. So, I mean, even if it does mean he needs to ride it out, I mean, that anyone can say, oh, someone else just needs to be patient. You need to ride it out. You need to let the criminal justice system run its course. But the state, I think, is making a huge jump from that to, oh, he needs to be quiet and.
Yeah, right.
Well, right after that, he says, don't put my name in that.
Well, and that's to me.
So, I mean.
That's Mr. Garlington's.
This may not be that every indicted and unindicted member of the co-conspirator is on, a Zoom call saying, all right, here's how we're going to do this. But everybody doesn't have to know every little thing everybody's doing under the law. So I'm going to admit this under that exception.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
I believe I heard a reference to what I think is my name, and I would ask the court to exclude that.
Yes. Can y'all redact that out, please? Yes.
And of course, we'll do as the court instructs. We do have a point at which we believe later on in trial that we would be presenting evidence, and we would ask the court's permission, bring it up to the court as Judge Glanville had instructed us to do so. There will be a point where we believe it will become necessary to bring up the fact that there has been representation of multiple persons, or an attempt to provide representation for multiple persons in YSL. By Mr. Steele, he is correct that we were instructed not to bring up his name before we brought the issue before the court so that the court hears it. The court may or may not be aware that prior to trial actually starting with this jury, we had a hearing on whether or not Mr. Steele should not be qualified to represent a party in this case. The judge determined that there was not a conflict, but also noted that the case may be that the state has the right to present that evidence, but before we do, we have to bring it to the court's attention and litigate that issue.
All right, well, at this point, y'all haven't done that yet, so excise his name.
Yes.
And when do you expect to get to that point?
Because this is, I believe, the second reference that we've had, there will be multiple times. We didn't want to bring it in, like piecemeal here, piecemeal there. So it would be later on, like at the latter part of the trial, around the time that we present the Drinks murder, that we would be bringing up Mr. Steele's representation. If the court permit, we're going to bring it to the court's attention.
Okay, so I don't know. Obviously, we'll need some more non-jury days at some point besides what we've had.
No, we need to get
sort
done.
out other issues that we know are on the horizon. But right now, let's just take his name out.
Yes, Your Honor.
And let's leave his name out of that, no matter what my ultimate ruling is on why it might ultimately be relevant. All right?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we stop and take a restroom break? Be back at 3.
Wow.
Everybody about 12 minutes.
Y'all, okay, never mind. I'm not trying to pick on her. I'm sorry. She is so frustrated. You can tell she's frustrated. So, wow. I don't even know why they're doing this horse trade, because she's literally letting them have just about everything. There's not one thing that she's holding back from the state. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, like the more, David, I agree with you. The more this goes, the more she's starting to sound like Glanville. And that's why I said this is Glanville and drag. I'm sorry. What do we have, Judge? She should be frustrated, but it's her fault, though. She could have wrangled this in. No, Love has been eating. Apparently, Love and Hilton have been eating in court. I'm like, but it's gum over his food. She still said there's none of it, and she's allowing it. No accountability. None whatsoever. My goodness. I think we should have just kept going. And I got a feeling, I know this sounds crazy. I got a feeling they're going to end before 6 o'clock today. I have no reason for why I believe that. I have no evidence, no proof. What is it? Statement in belief is my statement in belief. Is that what they say? Anyway, I think they're going to leave early today. She has the power to rein this in. She could have stopped a lot of this. A lot of this. If you don't have your stuff in order, your ducks are not in a row. Remember her telling Love to get all your little ducks and ducklings in order? Your ducks and ducklings aren't in order. They're out of here. Get them out of here. If it's that easy, it's not going to be difficult. And if if the defense doesn't have their ducks in a row, you're out of here. They're out of here. You can't use that argument. You can't. It doesn't really work like that. But I guarantee you, if the state rolls up in there, if the defense rolls up in there and says, oh, we got witnesses to corroborate that all these people were at Vacation Bible School every day during the crime. All of them were in choir rehearsal. And we got 19 witnesses to prove, and video evidence and audio files, and even them singing on the local gospel radio station. But we got to get our evidence together. Judge Whitaker's going to have a fit. She's going to throw an ever-loving fit if they did that. then why does the state get to do it? And they've had this evidence for a decade. Crazy. Oh, that's what it is. Upon my information and belief, these young men were at Vacation Bible School. Prove me wrong. There you go. I don't think she's up for re-election. No. It's becoming ridiculous. And again, I'm going to use I'm sure y'all have seen that time management example. We have like a glass vase, you have to put all the big stuff in, then the medium stuff, then the small stuff, and then the sand, and then the granulars situation. I don't think they're doing that. Again, I'm just an observer. I don't know anything about law, but this case would have there's no way if I were a juror that I would be paying attention, because all of the big facts should have been listed in the front. All of the big facts should be reiterated at the end. It's the stuff in the middle that you're going to kind of glaze over and be like, what are they talking about? I don't remember. What was that phone call? It's all over the place. They got big facts, all these little things thrown in between, medium-sized things. It's just a dumpster. And it's sad to see because, ultimately, this is going to go until it goes on. And maybe it will get thrown out. Maybe it will. I don't know. But what you do know is that time is going to be wasted. That's money for Fulton County that they're going to waste. Okay, yeah, I'm just checking, make sure they have not jumped up in there, which they haven't. It's a confusing mess. And I know that they don't do this, uphold the sit-ins jury. I'm sure they're not going to do that, or the populace. Hey, let's ask what Jason thinks about it. But they can't think that people are understanding this. They can't. And being the fact that most of this RICO, please, hey, don't tell anybody, Mary. All the jurors watch this channel. All the jurors are in the chat, actually. Debbie, she's juror number 3. Don't tell nobody, though. I'm just telling you. I have it on my information and belief that Nikki D is juror number 9. Don't tell nobody. Is it my information and belief? Oh, there we go. Upon my information and belief, this is the best live chat on the entire internet. No, that's been proven. That's a fact. That's a fact. It's more of a fact than anything else. There you go. Juror number 597. There you go. They're all in the building. They're here. Wait, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody that you're a juror. Don't tell nobody. She's letting them get away with everything. Even if you wanted to show like an air of partiality, an air of trying to be impartial, forgive me, at least just split it. If you have 19 decisions throughout the day, at least let it be like 16. Oh, I'm sorry. At least be like 8 and 10, 8 and 11. Don't let it be like truly 16 and 3, because that's what we're looking at right now. It's very imbalanced. It doesn't even look like you're trying to be balanced. And I would love, and maybe they talked about this, but how do you know this is that person that's on the phone, on a phone tap? I'm sure they probably did discuss that. I'm sure they probably did clear through that so that they're confident rather, that is this person on this phone. Maybe so. But earlier I heard them saying, well, Shard said, well, my client isn't on the phone. They're like, well, he's in the background. How do you know that? Like, how do you know he's in the background? That's the part that, how are you getting away with this? Why is this a thing? I don't like that one. I like this one. All right, what we got here? Thank you so much. Yeah, this tower has toppled over for sure. For sure. The tower is done. Finished. Got it. All right, so thank you, Bora. Appreciate you stopping through today. Juror number 501. Was that Levi's 501 jeans? There you go. That's some old school right there. Okay. All right, Judge Whitaker. I'm hoping that it gets a little, thank you so much for liking the stream. Holla at your boy. Hit that like button. Let me know what you think about it. Matter of fact, let's do that real quick. What are y'all thinking so far about this trial so far today? Why don't you go ahead and drop a emoji. Tell me what you're thinking about it so far today. Oh, my kids just pulled in the garage. Why are they so loud? Hold on. Why?
Up, DWC fam? What's up?
I didn't want y'all to hear them harassing me. That's why I muted it. But now
Hi guys.
you can hear them harassing me.
Hi. I had picture day today.
Oh, I didn't know that. You wanted me to come take a picture with you? I should have
No.
came.
You're not allowed to come into the building. I think.
You're like, Dad, my
This
dad
whole
is here.
stays on lockdown.
Y'all stay, man. Look, y'all are wild. All right. Go get your homework done. What time you gotta go to work?
4:30.
Okay.
I don't have any homework.
You need some homework.
I need food. I do my homework at school when I don't have my headphones on because I pay attention in class.
Give me
That's
your
why I
headphones.
got a 101 in geometry.
Give me your headphones so I can know that you don't have them on all the time.
Why do you mean you have headphones?
You have headphones. Goodbye. Leave my office open. I was quiet because I was thinking that they were really loud when they were coming in the kitchen. I was like, great day. It did sound like a herd of little unruly goats coming through my kitchen. And all of a sudden it got quiet. Yeah, it started acting normal. She probably is chastising them for eating. Like, y'all, come on now. You know better than eating in my courtroom. I'm letting you get away with murder, but don't be eating. That's what she probably telling them. Man, they are. That's my people. Hey, Erica Miller, thank you so much. She looks like my wife. She looks like her mom. Oh, they're usually happy, except yesterday they were a little. The big girl was President Firstborn was a little spicy yesterday. What's going on? Corey Barnes in the building. Good to see you, sir. Well, thank you so much, Jones. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, so at the current moment, we're still horse trading. If you just jumped in, we did start a little bit early to kind of see what they were talking about. It's a lot of phone calls. I'm convinced that this case would not even exist if they could not use hearsay. I might be wrong. But I'm going to go on a limb and say about 80% of this case is hearsay. 80% of it. If they could not use hearsay, they would probably just have, and they probably would go faster, truth be told. Yeah, I think, I'll go on the limb and say 80%. It's just hearsay. There's a lot of, somebody said this. Now, maybe the wiretaps will still come in. Jail calls will still come in. Sure. But unless somebody on the jail call saying, Smook shot little Pee-wee, there's a lot of stuff in it that's being said. It's not, that just seems weird. So, like, for example, like just not trying to be problematic, but if somebody's on the call saying they're trying to get the wacky tobacco. They're trying to get the devil's lettuce, the Mary Jane. Do we not know that they don't have a medical card that allows them to do that? Sad to say, but I don't understand how you make charges now when somebody could have a card that could say that they have the right. There's literally a tent down the not far from Whitaker Park. There's literally a place that gives you the medical card. They have a little stand, and you can get the medical card in order to be able to possess an amount. It's not legal. They don't have like dispensaries like California, but apparently that gives you a pass. I'm like, so at what point? I'm assuming it's medical too, but the term medical has gotten real broad, and very thin. So I'm just wondering. So I'll get back to the point that I'm saying. So the person's over here talking about the wacky tobacco, the devil's lettuce. How do you know he doesn't have a card that allows him to have the wacky tobacco? How do you know he doesn't have a card that allows him to make his salad with the devil's lettuce? It just seems like a far reach, a reach. Definitely in Colorado. Colorado, they have it too. And I mean, they have the medical cards here pretty much. I've seen people, or rather talk to people with medical that say pretty much every state has medical card. So like what? Okay, it's not legal in North Carolina. So, but it's legal here in Georgia. So sad to say we're dealing with it here in Georgia. So what stops somebody from saying that? I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, and how do you know that the wacky tobacco that you find on me with my medical card, I don't have a medical card at all, and I don't do that. But how do you know that I got that from a doctor or got it from a legal distributor? I could have gotten it from my posse on Broadway. It just seems like they've created such a boondoggle. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree, Mandy. And I'll tell you, again, not trying to be contrary. Not trying to be contrary. The South, of course, is very known for growing tobacco. But I promise you, look up. We used to actually grow hemp. Hemp was a much richer crop than tobacco and cotton. But for whatever reason, hemp, which is what we were getting the tobacco from, the wacky tobacco from, lost favor. I mean, old documents used to be written on hemp paper. So hemp was very popular. So in my opinion, once they realize and figure out how to tax and get that revenue, you'll see even in North Carolina, you'll see even there. Oh, I don't have a dog in the race. I do just kind of, I'm interested in how we get to certain places and how do certain things become so taboo that people are losing their minds. Hemp was a very popular and very lucrative business. Once they find out how to get that revenue stream, it's just like gambling, riverboat gambling and all that kind of stuff. Once they found out how to tax it, it's a game. It's a done. It's all about the money. I'll say this because I tell people this all the time. As soon as they find out who they're going to sue as it relates to automatic and self-driving vehicles for insurance sake, as soon as they realize, like if the automatic car is driving, this is the person that gets sued when they crash. You're going to see the proliferation of driverless cars all over the place because that's going to be a tax and an insurance Christmas. Once they figure out who they can tax, once the government knows who can be taxed or who can be penalized or who they gonna get, how they gonna get they cut, that's all it is. We're back and go. We're back. Let's go. I think we're back. Oh, she hasn't hit the camera yet. Yo, I thank y'all so much for hanging in and tapping in with us today. Judge Whitaker.
Following.
There we go.
After that is reference number 1739, PDF page 1762, which is a March 28th, 2022 call. And on that call, Your Honor, is Little Co, Mr. Boyer, who asked Demekion Garlington that he needs to come get the blick, and he told Garlington to take it home with him. And then Garlington replies that he has his fire at the house, but he just didn't bring it with him. And then they asked for an address. Again, that's what the portion of this wiretap call the state wants to play to show, one, how they reference firearms, and two, how firearms get exchanged between members. Quaterius Zachary, which the court has heard about when we went through his interview, and other evidence will come out. He gets arrested with a firearm that ballistically gets connected with the shooting of 1007 Hill Street, which was the mother of Mr. Bennett's mother's home. It's common, but the state doesn't actually believe or have evidence of that Mr. Zachary himself was part of that. So it shows that firearms get switched, exchanged. Passed between both YSL gang members and sometimes other or allied street gangs. And so again, that's why the state wants to play this. It's a brief portion.
Okay, and it's to show how they reference the guns, like the terms they use to reference the guns, flick and fire, and that they exchange them amongst each other and allied people. Do I need to listen to that, or?
The state does not believe you have to, Your Honor,
Okay.
unless you want to.
I don't want to unless I have to, because I think it goes a lot more quickly if we don't have to cue it up, listen. If I need to, I will.
Well, before I argue about the admissibility, it says the entire call. So is the state representing that is the subject matter of the entire call, or they're going to limit the excerpt to that discussion?
That is correct, Mr. Sharp. And I don't believe it's a very long call. It's 2 minutes, 52 seconds. I will get more clarity, but it's where you need to come over and get this blick. I'm geeked up at the studio. I told you to take the blick back. And then they mentioned running into someone, and I don't have that blick on him. I got the fire at the house, and they talk about send me the address. So I'll find when that time is, but that's the statements that we're referencing.
Okay, well,
I can just listen to it. I'll just listen.
Yes, Your Honor.
And we'll find out.
Yo. Hello? Yeah. Sorry.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Where?
Bro, you need to come over here and get me blick, bro.
I'm back. Where the hell you at?
Trying to geek them at the same way you just studio you just left, man. That shit got below me, bro. Your ass, I told you to take the blick on with you, bro. It don't matter, bro.
Yeah, you right.
Yeah, you go folk, then you got to go to him, bro. Like, come on, bro. You rubbing the niggas, you ain't having no profit. Oh, that's man. That shit like below me, man. I don't like this
Yeah,
shit.
it wasn't even that. It was just like the shit. I'm like, man, shit, I went club. I ain't gonna run nobody out here. There's some TV budget, man. That nigga.
D, man. D, boy. Nigga got down. Nigga got down. He way out. That one nigga. Anytime nigga ain't got that blick on him, twin. That was some shit goddamn been on house, man.
Yeah.
Way like that, bro. No blick, bro. You need to go get that blick, bro. You can take that blick home, bro. You can take when you stay home, son, bro.
Nah, I got the fire at the house. I just told you I ain't bring it that, but like, you gotta send me the address.
Come to it. Just go get look here. I'm finna pull in right now. You know, I gotta have one of these niggas drop the pin.
Yeah.
But I'm pulling up right now.
So like on the GPS, what to type in?
Type in, look here, she just come to a look here house. Cause it is after look here house. You feel me? I'm literally 2 minutes away from the studio right now. As soon as I get there, I can drop the pin.
All right, well, I'm gonna have her go get my car.
Type in the cave. Yeah, type in down the cave, gone. I don't even know this shit still on it.
So the whole
Prime
thing's-
time, that shit gone too. Type.
Your Honor, this wasn't this. There's a call that was shared in the initial Dropbox
Okay.
co-conspirator link. It's 1760, which is 2 minutes before this call. That should have been on this XL because it's directly related to why he's talking about getting the firearm.
Okay.
And so that call, I would like to play 1760, and the state also would like to introduce that call. And to give a little context with this is from consulting with APD gang detectives who investigated this in real time. Mr. Garlington coincidentally goes to a hotel in Cobb County, and there's a rival gang member whose street name is Little Blizzy, who after the murder of Mr. McMiller and Mr. Ford, there's a whole lot of, I don't know the way to put it, just vile, disrespectful social media posts about, like there's a picture of individuals X'd out next to their child, and say now they don't have a father. Things of that nature that escalates significantly the animosity and the violence. And so Little Blizzy, that murder was never solved, but he is in the far end of the spectrum of sending out very disrespectful social media posts after that double homicide. And so the significance, and we'll play this call right now, of Mr. Garlington running into him. He didn't have a firearm on him, and so he just randomly runs into him in a hotel. And so this call we just played when he's talking about coming to get the gun is basically, they're like, you need to keep that gun on you because there's a lot going on. So I wanted to play and apologize for not having this on here. That was just an error. The 1760, which is at 1:56 a.m. The call we just played was at 1:58 a.m.
Okay.
So I'm going to play PDF page 1760, reference number 1736.
Thank you.
Where the hell you at?
Hey, you know so crazy. I was just in the car and tell you I just ran to the nigga, bro.
For real?
How you know? That what you calling me back?
Nah, man, not at all.
Oh, I thought nigga said something on Instagram.
What he said?
Nah, not him. The nigga, the Blizzard.
What he say?
Shit, he seen me turn his head.
For real?
On DV, yeah, he seen like, I tried to look at him, but like, he turned this shit.
What he saying that?
Man, we at the same hotel.
Right now?
Right now.
I'll be safe on that, man.
I know it, but I ain't got no.
The nigga say it's real. J. Carr say he finna shoot a video. He want us in the video.
What about the studio?
Yeah, I'm finna meet them back up here, but he need to come back outside. But at least let me give you a gun or something.
Which one? My side?
The one we were just at.
What was it?
Hold on, they call out.
So that is 1760, Your Honor. The state, well, if the court would like to hear 1762, which is, but
That's what we just heard, right?
we heard 1760, which I think gives a lot more clarity to.
Before that, we
Yeah.
heard 17.
Yes, Your Honor. So the state feels that both of those are in furtherance of the conspiracy because Demikion Garlington, a YSL street gang member, is calling and notifying people about who he ran into, a rival gang member, and and he actually makes multiple calls that we're not going to play all of these, where he's trying to get, and he references this interaction in the hotel.
So, Your Honor, Mr. Garlington has a long criminal history. I don't know when the state feels that Mr. Garlington met Mr. Stillwell, but Mr. Garlington was allegedly, or he pled guilty to committing crimes before Mr. Stillwell knew him, before Mr. Williams knew him, and he has plenty ability to commit crimes without being associated with anyone here. And at some point, we're just, again, I understand that being arrested doesn't absolutely close you off from a conspiracy. I think it's fair to say there is a presumption. I know, but I understand it's not absolute. I understand it's not that simple. But at some point, we are in a situation where we have two gentlemen in jail, and Mr. Garlington going about his criminal life. And that is, whether he's associated with other people or not, or whether the state is alleging that he's associated with other people, everything that Mr. Garlington chooses to do and every crime that he chooses to commit in his day-to-day life does not involve my client, does not involve Mr. Nichols. And the state is, at this point, trying to bring in Mr. Garlington's chatter about picking up guns and selling drugs and all these things that Mr. Garlington's been doing for years, and somehow impute them on two gentlemen that are in jail. And that's my concern. I understand that it's not an absolute that my client is no longer part of a conspiracy, but I'm not, the state is theorizing, but there has to be a difference between Mr. Garlington's everyday criminality and criminality that is specific to an alleged association with YSL. And that's my concern, is at this point, we're just throwing in his everyday criminality, and it's making my client, who is associated with him through social media and other things, and that's just a fact that I'm going to have to deal with. But at some point, it's creating character issues and prejudicing the defense of my client.
Your Honor, if the state may.
Yeah, who's the other person that?
So,
Whether who the other person is?
yes, it is DeMarco Boyer,
Oh, right, you said that. Okay.
who is affiliated with an allied gang, PDE. And so, with that said, also in reference, when defendant Stillwell is arrested, there's a contraband phone. He's still speaking with Demekion Garlington. And the state indicted and believes that both Demekion Garland and Shannon Stillwell, 11 days before this, murdered Shamel Drinks, a YFN member. And this little Blizzy is, again, someone in that same rival gang. So Demekion Garlington trying to get a firearm to take out a rival opposition is in furtherance of the criminal conspiracy that the state alleges defendant Stillwell is still a part of, and all the defendants are, before, during, and after this March 28th call when it's made. So it's not just Mr. Garlington on his own. It's in furtherance of that criminal street gang, which has to retaliate for a double homicide that they are blatantly, disrespecting on social media. And that, in the world of criminal street gangs, cannot be tolerated and has to be handled with more violence. And so that's why the state's theory that this is in direct furtherance of the criminal conspiracy, because if Garlington got a firearm and shot or murdered little Blizzy, that would be in furtherance of the criminal street gang. So him trying to get that firearm is helping move that needle forward in terms of the conspiracy.
Understood. These two both appear to meet the 801D2E exception. What's our next statement?
Our next statement is 1759. reference number 1759, PDF page 1782, which is March 28th, 2022. I think Mr. Harvey likes the reference numbers. The state likes the PDF page numbers, so I'll give both.
Well, thanks, because the court likes the reference numbers too.
And then that's the state's preference, is the reference numbers, Your Honor. So we're going to play, I think it's only 57 seconds of the call.
57 seconds of it, but I don't know where they're starting yet. I don't think they've said that yet.
Yeah, the total call is 57 seconds, Your Honor. And Mr. Garlington is calling. I want to make sure I read. So the state believes the voice sounds like Unfon Quantavious Greer. Not 100% confirmed, but that's who the state believes he's talking with. And so the state, and what is said is Garlington is told that a YFN member wants to talk to him, and the other party tells Garlington to call them when they are all around. So this is in the context of, there's a lot of back and forth, and there's also, so long story short, it's how they are referencing and speaking about a rival gang, YFN, the state wants to highlight, and we'll play that now.
Okay.
Yo, what's up, nigga? What the hell? Right here, shit, downtown. What I for 77, I want to watch it and come to like want to talk to you. They want to talk to me? Yeah, you know the one who I told you about that who I like used to be before though. Yeah. Yeah, he told my man, tell him to call me, bro. Tell him to call me, bro. He not like that, bro. Tell I just want to talk, bro. What shit like that? I'm like, shit, bro. I relate a message, bro. This shit, man. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, I just relate a message to you. Type shit. Yeah. So you calling we all around, so we, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I'm doing. I'm calling we all around. Alright, so I'm outside. I let you call me for that. Alright.
And so, Your Honor, the state doesn't have, I don't know exactly what this YFN member wants to speak with, but the fact that this is being set up and kind of having like a mediator to talk between them is relevant to show, because this constantly through this trial from 2015 to now, the jury is hearing and the state is explaining, shootings, murders between these two groups. And so the fact that he needs to get a mediator to speak with someone from that establishes there is an us and a them. And so whether he actually had this call or not, what exactly they want to talk about, it kind of has a non-hearsay purpose in terms of the fact that he's setting this up this way. He can't just call this person one-on-one or go meet them. That's the main purpose of it, or why the state wants to introduce it, Your Honor.
It seems that now that's, not being offered in such a way that it would even be hearsay. So it's admitted. I mean, alternatively, it could be a co-conspirator statement, but it does not appear to be hearsay to begin with. All right, what's next?
Next, Your Honor, is reference number 1767, PDF page 1789, which is a March 28, 2022 call. The state believes that the other individual on the phone he goes by the nickname of Dad and is a 30 deep gang member. And what is discussed is Garlington tells, his name is Mr. Britty, tells Mr. Britty that he stayed in Cobb the night before because he ran into an op and didn't have anything on him. So it kind of gives context to wanting to get the blick. He specifically calls little Blizzy an op in this call. And again, it explains and gives clarity to how Garlington views Little Blizzy. And the state will hear when Detective Viverito is discussing this part of the case about this inflammatory social media that Little Blizzy posted, how YSL members viewed him, and why Garlington running into him is significant. Because if there's an us, there's a them, that is a key part of this. So the state will play this call now. It's 1 minute and 10 seconds, Your Honor, so the state will play it in entirety.
Hello?
Yo.
What's going on, bro?
What the hell going?
Pulling up in the hood?
Pulling up in the hood?
Hell yeah. Where you gotta go?
I go to. Oh shit, man. We just woke up.
You said you gotta go where today? You about to say you gotta go somewhere.
No, man. I got down to the hotel in car last night, right?
Yeah.
I run to a op.
No.
I ain't got nothing on me. 'Cause I'm like, shit, but I'm finna go out here. I know everybody out here.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Go to the gym, like.
Yeah, buddy seen me and turned the head. You know,
He seen you and turned the head.
yeah. He don't even know he got me down bad.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, man. What they even do?
Yeah. Right here with Keelan Mooch.
I'm probably.
Stop it at 1 minute and 5 seconds. There's only 5 seconds left, but it was that portion about Garlington speaking about what I just described, Your Honor, that the state wants to, is why the state wants to introduce it.
All right, that seems to fall essentially under the same things we've been talking about. I'll admit that as under the co-conspirator exception.
Your Honor, the next call is reference number.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
I want to ask the court that if I can have a continuing objection to these phone calls that reference something out in the world when Mr. Nichols is incarcerated. And again, I understand that we've kind of reserved that issue, but I don't want to go on to the next one without saying, hey, I've still got this objection out there.
Sure. And I mean, he doesn't get out again, right? I mean, he's not, so.
Unless you're going to let him out for, I'll take him to dinner tonight.
Okay. So, I understand that it's, that it covers all of these from the time he's
Thank you.
in until, I mean, who knows how many we're going to have till now, I guess, if they come up with some other call, but all right.
So, Your Honor, this next call, reference number 1869, PDF page 1893.
Okay.
This is Demekion Garlington speaking with DeMarco Boyer.
Okay.
I actually think that this call, the strongest reason for its admissibility is a non-hearsay purpose, because they're discussing, we got to take Buddy's name off that. Because if that individual, they're talking about a song where someone's name's in it, and they literally say, if he gets whacked, you know that stuff's going to come down on us. I don't need nobody trying to put a RICO on me. And then references putting their names in the song. And so a big thing of this, not the thing, but a aspect of this case from opening until present day, is the state using social media, using lyrics, using just statements of co-conspirators. And, the state and defense have different theories of what those things mean, but the fact that they're conscious of what they say and put in a song in direct relation to something that can happen in the real world or in the streets, so to speak, is very relevant, because the state's theory is that there is kind of a double entendre, or it's kind of like a line of how far can you push it in terms of street gang members know what you're talking about, but the police can't use it against you. And so with all that said, I wanted to play this part for really a non-hearsay purpose, whether they put that, I don't actually have the said song, but like whether they released that song or didn't put his name in, is the fact that they're consciously, and by discussing that and thinking through that, is important and is the state's mind's a non-hearsay purpose.
Yo. Yeah. I'm trying to shoot that red. Today. It's a good day. Hey. But I ain't gonna lie, we got time. We gotta take better name out of that shit though. We got to. You know, if bro fuck around and get wet, you know that shit come down on us. Yeah. Type shit. Then they already. The nigga young dude so hot on the east side right now too. They like, I don't know if they trying to build a case against niggas or what. Like, you feel me right now. But they hot as fuck. Like, they jumping out, just laying nigga down about them nigga. That's why they was so hot up and down the script the other day, got on Glenwood the other day. That's why I ain't been around nigga bad. So it last come 2 days. So it's like, oh, I ain't need nobody trying to build no Rico on me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like,
able to get a quote on like the estimate.
so it's also shit like I'm just not thinking. Lil Head was even saying the same thing. He was like, shit, but I was gonna tell y'all nigga this shit, bro. That y'all probably need to say bro name, bro, cause his ass finna be gone. And even if y'all drop the song now, he get gone, it'll look like somebody had something to do with it. We drop the song later. I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah, you damn sure right. We just gonna take the nigga name like this shit. We just gonna take, I ain't even scared shit, still fuck them niggas, you feel me? Just some smart shit, cause I don't think them niggas will put a song out there without that. Well, at least we just switch it up, you feel me? Mm-hmm. Even if we say that, like, we don't be niggas for D, get a shell, say something different, like, you feel me? Shell got there, Shell don't want that, or some shit, you know, I don't give a fuck, we say the same thing, I don't give a fuck about saying name. But I don't want you, you know what I mean? Tie shit in. Alright. Yeah, do it then. Tell them all. I don't think you're get up and shit in okay.
And Your Honor, you heard they're talking when they say the line has something to do with Shell, and it's the state that they're talking about Shell Kell, who comes up repeatedly in this case, and is someone that YSL has been trying, there's violence from January of 2015 until this call was made March 29th, 2022. And so Shell Kell's name comes up repeatedly throughout. And some of the social media I'd referenced about disrespect when individuals get murdered, Shell Kell's social media posts are a part of that will come up in Shamel Drinks. So that's why the state wanted to play this portion, is really for the non-hearsay purpose that they are thinking through, they discussed the lyrics and how it can impact literally the police, because they're like, if he gets killed, it's going to come back on us. They're going to look at us. So we need to take his name out. So that's why the state wanted to introduce that.
Okay. Anything from the defense on this?
Well, if I am not mistaken, it's being offered for as non-hearsay. And if it's offered as non-hearsay, it's not offered for the truth of the matter asserted, and therefore there needs to be an instruction saying you can't consider this conversation for the truth of the matter asserted.
So I am a little puzzled as to that issue.
And Your Honor, I guess I started with there's really two arguments, as sometimes there is, in terms of if they put this individual, it's also a co-conspirator statement in terms of they're strategically trying to make sure that they don't get in trouble for releasing a song when they're trying to kill this individual. So the fact that he's like, you need to probably take his name out, that does move the ball forward in terms of the conspiracy, because the conspiracy does not want to get caught. Because if it does, it can't continue as well. And so there's that aspect of this as well, in terms of they're strategizing about, like, it's a good line, but it's too, when he gets murdered, or if he gets murdered, it's going to create a police involvement with us. And he's trying to get him to not release the public song with his name in it, with the purpose to further the conspiracy by not getting caught. So there is it's not an either or. Sometimes there can be multiple purposes or theories, and I think that's appropriate with this specific call.
Okay.
I think they're saying, let's not commit a crime. I mean, I
I think they're saying let's not provide easy evidence to inculpate ourselves. I'm going to admit that under the co-conspirator exception. There's no crime in releasing a song, as y'all have all argued. What's our next statement?
The next statement is reference number 1974, PDF page 1999. And this call from March 30th. There's reference, so again, this call references Blizzy, who I've discussed with the court earlier. And it also references there's a reference to a street name of Haiti, which is a YFN member, Mr. Higgins, that is also connected with the killing of Mr. McMillan and Mr. Ford. And so we're going to play this entire call. And on this call, Garlington also references, he says SB, talking about defendant Stillwell's cousin, who's a female, was followed by a black Durango. There is, the murder of Mr. McMillan, Mr. Ford is not solved, but the black Durango, there's reference into it in a couple wiretaps because they believe that that vehicle was involved and is associated with the rival gang. And also, Garlington tells the other party again, he's mentioning running into little Blizzy. He didn't have the fire on him, and then he gives the address of where he was staying that night.
Yeah, then Corey called saying like, she trying to follow her, yo. You said what? Corey, maybe because she said I tried to follow her? Nah, hell nah. She saying like a nigga trying to follow her. She said a black car, but black truck. So I think she was trying to say the black. The black Durango. And she like the nails and shit like that. I like, just like at the door, it was outside. The police like, is that for you? But she like, nah, she wasn't paying attention. So she get in the car. I mean, when she walked to the car, then like he tried to hit her. So then she get in the car. Like the nigga pulled in front of her because she had the bag up. She say the motherfucker followed her from the door. Like she ran to a roadblock. She was going to back street in Riverdale. She ran to a roadblock. They did a U-turn. Damn, that's a fool right there. That might be Buddy though. You know, Buddy used to try to be on his DM talking about, I'm gonna find out where you stay at and shit. Yeah. Like he tried to talk to her. It might be Buddy. Then they say he had Durango. Hey, I don't know. Hey, you know who I just ran into, bro? In car, bro. I told that shit the other day, bro. Who? Man, I ain't had no foul on him. I just ran into the nigga Lil Blizzy, bro. Oh, somebody just got that nigga on the other night. Bro. Yeah, where he was in? No, I don't know. I was in boat checking in the hotel. Like I was going upstairs with the hoe. He was checking in. I see the boy that's on DV, but that nigga turned his head so fast, bro. Damn, you think he still been playing out there? Yeah, I don't know. Damn. What hotel it was? We was somewhere in Cobb, bro. I gotta get the name of that shit. He told to the clerk like he know it. Like, man, damn, man, come on, fuck with me. Ain't Bay Money now? Nah, ain't Bay Money. That mother called. Man, I don't. This some over man. What street is on? Oh, I had to. That motherfucker. I got the address right here. That shit was called. $3380 Overton Park Drive, Southwest. What is that? Overton Park. Overton Park, Southwest. Hold up. Southeast. The backside. I'm trying to put it in now. 33. Yeah, wait, another paper. When you gonna go play right now, they be meeting up at 3380. The one that called the police on y'all last time, 3380. So you said 33 what?
Hold on, 33. 80.
Yeah.
Overton. Park Drive.
OVERT. O-N West
I
Drive?
say OV.
Park Drive?
Overton Park Drive.
Yeah, southeast 11. Yeah, right on the back side of Cumberland. I mean, Cumberland, Engine Park. Yeah.
Go make the left. Go make the other left. Come back now.
Yeah, we got him. He might be playing right there because you know he's scared. He just got spent. Him and Hayden, like two more little other niggas got spent there and ran on something.
For real? Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. We ain't trying to play that.
Yeah.
They got to go.
So Your Honor, the black Durango was associated with the shooting at Waters Road on March 16th. I misspoke when saying the Ford McMiller double homicide. So, Deputy Hill, actually, it's connected with both the murder of Mr. McMiller and Mr. Ford and the Waters Road shooting. So I wanted to clarify that. And also, Your Honor, there's a reference of getting the address where an op was the night before we got him. And so this discusses past events of running into a rival gang member at the hotel, but also references, be on the lookout for this black Durango, and also has references for future conspiracy activities of getting addresses of opposition gang members. The state does not know exactly who Mr. Garlington is speaking with, but a conspiracy can be furthered because Garlington gaining this information and discussing this still furthers the criminal street gang conspiracy. But I wanted to give all that information to the court.
All right, thank you. Any?
Borrow Mr. Harvey's term about nested hearsay. From my understanding, this call, and I'm going by the state's notes as well, this call has Garlington relaying what SB's cousin, that would be my client's cousin, said to him about being followed.
Right.
That would be hearsay within hearsay. So I'd ask that anything involving what was said by my client's cousin be redacted.
This again has been put in writing in the state's brief. I wanted to find it, but in terms of co-conspirator statements, you do not have to search through time to, like, there is not a double hearsay exception or objection that if something is a co-conspirator statement in furtherance, the speaker making it, you don't have to determine if they have personal knowledge or not personal knowledge of it, because the statement itself is in furtherance of the conspiracy. And I will find the case law to back that up, but the state has briefed that issue in writing in the initial, and I'll find the date, kind of general co-conspirator brief. And
I'm not sure if I follow what you're trying to say right now.
I was distinguishing when Mr. Sharp was objecting to double hearsay or nested hearsay.
Yes.
And I wanted to find the specific. So if the state gives me, not the state, Your Honor, if the court gives me a brief moment, I actually brought this motion with me and can't currently find it, but it's directly on point to this issue.
All right.
Well, there's a difference between personal knowledge and nested hearsay. So let's not go down the wrong track.
We can go down both, Mr. Harvey.
They're going down the wrong
and
track.
find the right answer.
Let's stay focused on the issues at hand and not back and forth with each other.
If that's back and forth, then
Me and Mr. Harvey get along well, Your Honor.
I'm like, that was very calm. There she go again, laughing.
Can we?
So, let me ask you this, which might make it not necessary. Are you offering that hearsay that's within this statement for its truth?
The
part about the, I guess, girl saying that a Durango followed her.
It's the fact that,
or that Mr. Stillwell's cousin says that whomever said that a Durango followed them.
Your Honor, it is for them discussing the black Durango, because the state doesn't have any additional evidence that like that black Durango on this day and time was outside about to shoot someone. So it's the fact that they're discussing the vehicle that's connected with the murder and the Waters Road shooting, the fact that he's discussing in opposition terms Little Blizzy, and the fact that they are discussing whether they actually got the address and found the opposition member or not. The fact that they are discussing that is relevant in and of itself. And the state doesn't have, so the state is not intending to say, aha, 5 hours later, they went to someone's house and shot them. So it's the fact that they're discussing all of these things, which is really a non-hearsay purpose.
Okay, well.
To answer the court's question, Your Honor.
Not sure to answer the question, but what I take from that is that your answer would be, no, we're not offering the nested part to establish that somebody actually followed her in a black Durango. Is that true?
Yeah, correct. We are not.
In which case, that is not hearsay. And the rest of it comes in under the co-conspirator exception.
Well, whether the state's intent is to do that or not, it asserts a fact that is harmful for my client if believed. And I don't know how the jury is necessarily supposed to compartmentalize, oh, well, this is not being offered for the truth of the matter asserted. It seems to me that it would be, if it's not offered to prove that, I mean, this is important evidence if believed against my client, because it suggests that my client is responsible for Shamal drinks, and therefore other people are now following my client's family members. So it's not just a little deal in my mind. Okay. And so it seems to me that even if the argument is we're not offering it for the truth of the matter asserted, it would fail a 403 test, because what does it matter really that my clients, for the purpose that they're claiming, that they're discussing the goings-ons of the quote-unquote opposition, what does it really matter other than to just make reference to my client? What does it really matter that my client's cousin is the one that said it? If we want to redact my client's SB's cousin from that, that's fine. I don't have a problem.
All right, why don't we just do that? Judge, make the whole thing easier.
Judge, the importance of that part is that whether there was actually a black Durango following anybody or not, there was their belief that they were. There was this belief that was shared among them. The reason that this is a co-conspirator statement is that they are participating in the enterprise by apprising one another of things that could harm them.
Yeah, the appraisal part's not the issue. Do you lose any of that by taking out the two? I mean, if they even say SB's cousin.
We could listen to that part again to ensure that we are accurately asserting what is being said. But our belief is that the fact that that something they believe is endangering one of their members' families is something that is causing them to act. Yes. So that is the reason that we believe that remains inside that statement, because by making one another aware of a potential danger, whether it exists or not.
Family member of one of their co-conspirators.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I don't see how. I think it's a bit of a. It's not that it's a stretch. It's that you'd have to pile one building block on another to get to, if some bad guy out there is following a cousin of your client, that must mean your client has committed some crime against a member of that group. I mean, yes, it could be, put together that way, but it's hardly like, oh, A equals B, therefore C.
Well,
It just isn't.
This conversation occurs days after a murder occurred that my client is charged with.
I understand.
And I think the state knows exactly why they want to get it in, and that's why they want to keep the reference to my client's cousin saying it. It's they want the truth of the matter asserted to be brought in front of the jury, and it's if their interest is just that they're aware, then there's no reason that they're aware that people are following them. There's no reason to include SB's cousin. They could just put it in. They could just put Quay or whatever. Quay said this, and they don't lose anything.
Okay, so what they lose is then they're just saying, hey, some random person is getting followed by a Durango. And that's what they don't want to lose.
In the context of the conversation, no, I don't think it's just some random person. It's obviously someone they're associated with and concerned about because they're talking about it. So it's not just some random person.
All right, I can listen to it again, which I don't need to do here. I will just circle back and listen to this one again.
She done had enough of
I'd
this.
also point out that Mr. Shard is making a 403 argument, and given that there's nothing about this
Well, I'm making no 304
belief
argument.
on their part that is substantially more prejudicial than probative of the fact that they believe that this Durango is following a member or a family member of one of their group, and that belief is being shared, and in order that they do something, that they act accordingly. They're participating in the enterprise by.
Yeah, that's not his argument. His argument is that because the Durango is following a relative of Mr. Stillwell, that must mean that Mr. Stillwell committed the crime against their group a few days before, which is what I'm saying is a whole lot of building blocks having to be stacked on top of each other. But I will take another listen.
And it's not that it must mean that. It's that it's evidence of that.
And I mean, if it is, it is. I mean, that's why the state puts up one case, and if the defense chooses, they put up another case, and in between there, they cross-examine all of the state's witnesses so that all of the different theories can get presented before the jury that all the sides want presented, and they can sort out what they believe to be the facts and apply those facts to the law.
But I'm not going to be cross-examining Demekion Garlington, and I'm not going to be cross-examining Quay.
No, but you are going to make a closing statement, I would suspect. So, I mean, it's how trials work. So I will take another look, and I'll let y'all know.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Your Honor, the next call we're turning to is reference number 2119, PDF page 2145. This is on April 1st of 2022. And the state, this is defendant Stillwell on a contraband phone talking to Demekion Garlington
contraband.
about a number of things.
Hey, Miss Mandy, check your Discord.
He discusses, so there's a lot of discussion about the Shamel Drinks murder where we're going to ask to play this entire call, but defendant Stillwell says he doesn't know why Miles got out of the car, referencing to Miles Farley. And Miles Farley was arrested April 1st as well, which is the same day that this call was made. He also discusses we had referenced this some earlier, but they're kind of like they're trying to decipher how Farley is handling getting arrested on this serious charge of murder. But there's a lot discussed, but we would like to play it. But it mentions a number of different relevant circumstances to include Defendant Stilwell tells Garland that it's ugly and he needs him. He also states, and they discuss, Garlington tells defendant Stilwell that Dolly said Thug's not talking to anybody. And Garlington says it should be funny. He should be funny and post free Wyeth and Lucci. At the same time, Mr. Bennett is also in the Fulton County Jail. And so also defendant Stilwell tells Garlington that the gunpowder test will come back clean, so he isn't tripping, which the state believes is in reference to the vehicles utilized in the murder of Shamel Drinks. So the state's going to play this call from the beginning to the end.
What's up, bro? What's up? Say what?
Every.
What's up, man?
What the hell going?
Man, shit, right here, listen to that new weapon.
Huh?
I said, right here, listen to that new young boy. What you got going? Can I?
Yeah, you know, I can't hit you on that other phone. Shit, bro. I'm fuck on that motherfucker.
For real? Are you on? Oh, this another one?
No, it's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I know. I just, I ain't just like FaceTime how to say. That's what you like. I tell him I ain't got it.
I really can't respond, so I just like, yeah. I can't, man. That motherfucker, I don't fuck tripping on that motherfucker.
For real, man.
Was it planted? I wonder.
Yeah. I said one shit. I said shit. I'm gonna go straight to my grandma. I had stay out that motherfucker.
Yeah. But she told me they had that mojo upstairs.
Yeah.
Running like what? On North inside?
Nah, I'm with Free.
You with Free?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And they do the Free.
They do. Yeah, they. Damn. Somebody said it. T-Rock was up there with you or something?
Yeah, T-Rock was downstairs with me.
Yeah, cause somebody asked me in the hood. They're like, bro down there with T-Rock. I'm like, I ain't know T-Rock locked up.
Yeah. What the hell was going on? Everything. What the hell? What's up with Trump, man? What the hell he talk crazy like that?
What he saying?
Just talk crazy, man. All that little shit there.
You talking crazy about Mal?
Nah, it's about me talking about Mal and shit.
Bro, I ain't on TV. I ain't heard of that.
Yeah, it's a lot of little shit I told boy.
Yeah.
Had me blow.
They blow?
Had me blow.
Oh, yeah. I ain't talked to him, but the only person that be talking to is Mal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he be asking like what's going on. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. What the hell?
Like, in order. Damn, bro. Like
everything smooth though.
Yeah, I know it. I already know that.
They just got them. They on Mal though.
Yeah.
Cause I don't
That,
know.
oh my God.
He can get out the car.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm telling folks. I'm like, shit, what the hell they locked up for? Like, they just saying about the camera. I'm like, bro, they good. I'm just like, they gonna assume some shit like that anyway. They gonna assume that, like, y'all ain't did, ain't killed him, so.
That's what I keep telling Lil. I keep telling him, like, just chill. Like, I know.
Yeah, cause they saying he panicked.
Yeah, I'm like, this ain't nothing, bro. Like, they just doing that cut. They seen as a goddamn gas station. Like, just chill. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm telling. I keep telling him out the same shit. I'm like, listen, bro. Just like you, like, bro. I'm telling him, probably in the cat. Listen, bro. No. Just tell him before you want to talk, bro. Like,
man, listen, bro. I told Baba, I'm like, hey, tell buddy, do the same thing I did when I went in there. I told him, for, hey, I want to see my lawyer. I'm going to say nothing there to me. So he got to do the same shit. Don't say not one word.
Yeah.
Down what they try to portray or what they say, man. Don't say shit.
Yeah.
Smartest thing that I've heard.
They tell them, they're like, hey, bro. They're like, hip hop just called. They're like, you heard? And I'm like, yeah, nah. I'm like, shit, I know. I'm like, I keep in contact through. You know what I'm saying? They folks. I'm like, I ain't turning on the phone. I'm like, he don't understand that anyway, though.
Yeah, I ain't doing that anyway.
Yeah, I already know you ain't. I already know it. Yeah.
Hey, ugly though, boy, I need you.
I know. I already know. Thank God, I already know that. I told her like I told her 1,000. She said 800.
I told her like tell her I need 1,000, but anything in between, just got down.
Oh no, yeah. She ain't doing that, but bro, you know I got.
Yeah.
I know, like, but I talked to one call today, and she told me tell y'all to like be patient, cause she hadn't had I talked to her. She DM me.
White.
Yeah. She like, man, just tell them like, and no, we ain't gonna leave them folk like that down there. Like, just tell them to be patient. It was a day, good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, man, just tell them to be patient, bro. Bro, I got it.
Well, I already know that part. I just like. I know like how that go. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really tripping on that. I ain't tripping. Like I've been just trying to keep Buddy calm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, do that, bro. Yeah, bro.
I don't really be liking that coaching and shit. That shit be having me all out like.
Yeah, I talk the phone. Like I been on bro. Like he at in FaceTime. Like, oh, what's up with Quay? Like, what the hell? I don't know Quay on the phone saying something. Like, I don't know if he on shit. Like, he told real like, man, tell Buddy got there and get his lawyer, bro. We did that shit for him. He paid. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Yeah, that was phone told me. He like, bro, tell him chill out, man.
We did that for him.
Nah, I ain't know that about that.
Yeah, then we out downstairs. He was like, yeah, they was on the cell phone, but I ain't say nothing. So I'm like, I know I ain't even upstairs. I'm like, ain't got access to no phone.
Hell nah, we ain't wasn't nothing like that. I don't think he said no shit like that though.
Yeah. And then I thought what that was telling somebody what the hell she saying foreign farming.
Who?
She told me they something about foreign farming.
A cap.
Yeah. She really kind of telling me to be careful. I was a corn out. And they with the little nigga. I ran to the boy little place by myself.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I ran to him. Yeah. I ran to him by myself. Like that's on TV showing the boy see me turn the head.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. But like, we was on live and Courtroom. Nobody be on my page and shit. So I don't know who told shot a video chat like, bro, when I ain't run. I say nigga, you ain't run. You damn so touch your head, fat though.
Huh?
I say, no, I ain't say you ran. You damn so touch your head when you see me though. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't knowing what you on. I'm like, listen, bro. You know what's going on. Like before all this shit, like shadow was straight.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, but you know, I'm like, you know what's going on. Like, he like, bro, ain't no problem with you, bro, with everybody. I'm like, listen, bro. You know how this shit is, bro. You know how this shit go. Like, I'm like, yo, I used to speak to you and everything. I'm like, shit, that ain't going on no more, bro. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's on DVD. I'm like, man, I had a little corn right there. I told corn to be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but now they just made a video about an hour ago on Cleveland at the store with little sticks and shit. Like, yeah, all in my hood. I'm like, yeah, good thing.
Man, they on some man.
I'm listening intently.
That's police shit.
Yeah, man.
That's true shit. I ain't with that.
Yeah. Damn, man.
It's all good. Everything.
I know it. So you still ain't got nobody right now? Like they won't take no payment?
They ain't really saying it. But ain't really saying that. You just really like just chill, be patient. Like same thing White tell you.
Yeah. Okay.
Some people wouldn't care. They're saying.
They gotta say they ain't talking to nobody. Like they say, they like, bro, I ain't never seen that nigga hurt like that. But that nigga hurt behind that shit.
I thought they said the one he really fucked with.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, man. I been want to talk to your ass too, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Nigga,
Who? I heard.
Yeah. No, I could be funny, but free wife and loose. Yeah. Right.
They had no tell me that shit. I'm like, man, help 12 in here.
Man, what? Phone them say they call him. Phone be slam on them. They say he working the police in the game shit. Like they say, like he got police. Like he probably don't know, but like they no folk like they watching his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they funding his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they said they were gonna do it. We got 12 pulled them over or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't chill though. Something I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what he on.
Yeah.
I'll tell him boy about this shit. I was like, man, he be like, you ain't gotta tell me. I already know. Like, home be got tripping.
Yeah.
Like on the other one, like people like, man, you know, I stand on more. Man, I fought with, but home on the other, I think about that on some female shit.
Man, well, man. Yeah, I ain't on DB. I ain't heard nothing about that though.
Yeah.
But I ain't even talk. Only time we talked to him, I talked to him like the same night y'all got locked up.
You gotta add when you call boy, you gotta add boy what he say, cause I can't really say like, cause she won't really just tell me like in detail, but she just beating around the bush. I really be telling her, man, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
On that wasn't none, cause I ain't going for that strand.
Yeah, but you know I got you, bro. I had to go long. Trying to get down. I just had to take care of got down. I know I got you though, bro. You gotta got down the whole time, bro. I know how that shit is. Like I'm knowing like nigga need this shit. Like I ain't got you, bro. I'm here with you, man.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to get.
I ain't gonna, you know, like I ain't gonna. Well, I say a word, but like I don't even have to say your name. Like she know who I be talking about. I don't be talking about nobody else, but I ain't gonna hit you on that motherfucker like ever. You know what I'm saying? But you know, everything really good though.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I heard that shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, that shit was fast as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is. Just assume.
Yeah, I already know. Like when they got down, go to wiping down, doing them got down, them. You know, they gunpowder, forensics, all that shit up.
Yeah.
You don't come back clean. You see what I'm saying? So I ain't tripping on that. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. What the hell swimming on? You're still in the yo.
Yeah. Okay, what is that?
You know what's what?
LT.
Who? Yo, folk.
Yeah. I was there with him yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got now out of town now. So he's gonna get ready to come back. I was gonna lie with that.
Yeah. You ain't talked all night. That's a night crazy, bro.
Yeah, I said talk to her today. I talked to her today.
Bro, that'd be crazy.
I was telling her, I'm like, he on the cell phone, like, he probably be over there, like, what not? She's like, what? So you think you gonna tell on me? I'm like, man, hell nah.
Shit crazy. I don't even be texting that back no more.
But she be texting on, like, on tab and shit?
Yeah, I don't even be responding to that crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm finna get bro back his phone, right? I'm gonna get up with you though.
I do that, man. I got you.
Love you. All right.
I love you too.
Your Honor, the call is complete. So I don't know if defense has any objections to this call. I think the court understands the state's
getting juicier.
position of this. We've labeled it as a co-conspirator statement in furtherance.
Your Honor. Carrington Matthews, again on behalf of Mr. Marquavius Huey. So there was a reference in this call again to a quay. And our position, as we stated earlier, is that it's a 403 issue that we're making at this time, as we did previously. We believe that this is a confusion, creates a confusion of the issues with this, the use of the name Quay constantly. The jury has heard the name Quay in this trial up to this point. They have heard it. We did file a motion for severance at a previous date. It was denied. I'd like to renew our request for a severance on this issue for the record. And on the basis, again, it's a 403 issue with respect to this word name Quay being repeatedly used. I think I've heard it like 3 times at least in these series of calls. So on that basis, Your Honor, we believe that a 403, and if the court is unwilling to grant the severance under the 403, confusion of issues, confusion of evidence, I would ask this court to, again, reserve the issue to allow us to craft an appropriate 105 instruction that will address this issue.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is there any response right now from the state?
Your Honor, Detective Viverito will clear up, I think, quite clearly that this is in reference to Defendant Nichols, not Defendant Huey, because when they're referencing, they're upset that on a phone call, Mr. Nichols says we did this for Big Bro, talking about the state's theory, Defendant Williams, in terms of what we did it, the murder of Shamel Drinks, who was, I've already described kind of the back and forth, but the testimony and the state's theory, so there won't be any argument at closing, and Detective Viverito, who is going to be introducing these wiretap calls, she will make crystal clear who that Quay is referenced on the call. So there won't be any confusion.
Okay, well, that'll cure any potential confusion. Just want to make sure that she does that. All right.
Am I correct in my belief that the state intends to introduce this whole call?
Sounds like it.
Okay. So my immediate concern is around 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Mr. Garlington is talking at this point, not my client. I talked to Funk. I've been with bruh, and he had me on FaceTime like, yo, what's up with Quay? And then Quay on the phone saying something like, I don't know if he on this SHIT, like he told Rel, like, tell buddy, god dang, get a lawyer, bruh. We did that ish, that SHIT for him. He paid, you know?
I like that he doesn't cuss.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we got Garlington having talked to Unfunk, who is Mr. Greer, who supposedly, and I'm trying to put it together, it's not completely clear, but he talks to someone named Rel, and then somehow this comes back to Quay, who, you know, Mr. I think that the state is asserting is Mr. Nichols. So we have like a game of telephone with 4 different steps leading to Garlington then saying this to my client. And then it should be noted, my client does not tacitly acknowledge, or I think we've been using tacit admission. He says that doesn't sound right. So it's not that. He pushes back, and it's just nested hearsay times 4 in what Mr. Garlington's saying. So I have a real problem with that, because obviously that is someone who is not testifying to my knowledge, the originator of this, and it's passed around a few times, and it goes directly to my client's innocence or guilt. And it's, you know, this little bit in itself strongly suggests that my client is guilty, because the implication is Quay said we did this for Buddy, I'm not concerned about the for buddy part. I'm more concerned about the we did this part. So that's a major flag right there. And it's nested hearsay. It's 403, any probative value that could come from this, other than its value as hearsay with 4 steps, is negligible. Clearly, they could get out the facts that they're talking about attorneys without going into that.
I'll
that
explain a little bit
segment
later,
right
Bill.
there that is extremely prejudicial to my client. So that's my first objection. I would also object that these other conversations about attorneys just generally are not furthering any conspiracy, but those don't. There's an extra level of concern regarding the time around 5:30.
All right, well, I think we've discussed the issue of attorneys potentially being provided by leaders already, and my ruling would be the same with regard to that. What is the state's response to the issue of it being hearsay, inside of hearsay, the we did this part?
So, Your Honor, that this is a classic co-conspirator statement. This is one co-conspirator providing reassurance to, providing direction to, and promoting cohesiveness with another co-conspirator in furtherance of the conspiracy itself, which is YSL, the criminal street gang.
Right, but back up into this isn't just him, this is somebody else saying that, right?
Did Miss Love get a good night's sleep?
And yeah, Mr. Shard at least is saying that Mr. Stillwell pushes back on the assertion. And this was a lot, so I might have to hear it again, but
Yes, Your Honor.
if that's accurate, then that seems like that couldn't be, oh yeah, this is an adoptive admission.
So, Your Honor, a couple things. One, defendant Stillwell is quite upset that Mr. Nichols made that. So the fact that Garlington and defendant Stillwell are discussing that, they need to know what's said on jail calls. They need to know who's talking to the police. They need to know who may fold, and they need to keep tabs on both members in jail and outside. So when they referenced earlier about Mr. Farley and how is he doing, and he needs to, so.
Yeah, that's the other part that they're raising, that Mr. Sharp's raising an issue about right now.
You're specifically discussing, Your Honor. So defendant Nichols saying we killed him for bro, and Mr. Sharp saying cannot come in this conversation with his client and Mr. Garlington when they're discussing the intimate details of the murder that they did for bro. The state feels that, and this is why, and I will find the case on this, their conversation, Garlington and Shannon Stillwell, in all its contents, whether they knew this personally, they knew this from like that statement, their conversation is fostering cohesion amongst them because they both agree he shouldn't be saying that on the phone. And that's where co-conspirator 801D2E is a little bit unique, where this nested hearsay, if it's deemed a statement in furtherance of the conspiracy, keeping abreast of the crime, future, past and or future activities, fostering cohesion among street gang members, that type of analysis is incorrect. If you deem that statement and them discussing what one of the other co-defendants did in the murder that the state indicted both defendant Stillwell and Mr. Nichols with, and Mr. Garlington with, I think it is classic co-conspirator hearsay, which takes aside Mr. Sharp's objection. The nested hearsay is not an appropriate analysis if you deem that statement, which the state believes it is co-conspirator statement. That's the state's position on this nested double hearsay.
I really need to see your case law.
Yes, Your Honor.
I think that's just an incorrect statement.
I would be surprised that it just makes what would otherwise be a valid evidentiary objection disappear. Maybe it does.
And so if it's hearsay, and I'd have to, like the court, I have to hear that little part again. But if they're saying that it's hearsay, that Mr. Nichols' statement about what they did is hearsay, and Mr. Stillwell.
Now you wrong for that one, Jason. You wrong for that one.
Right?
Yeah, this is Garlington and Stillwell.
Right. And when he says that his client pushes back, he's not saying we didn't kill him.
No, I don't know, but let's hear it again. There was a lot to unpack with this. Maybe it would have been better to take this in sections.
He says that doesn't sound right. And to push back, you don't need to repeat everything that was said and said, no, that's wrong. No, that's wrong. No, that's wrong.
I mean, it could have been in reference to whatever the arrangements were for an attorney. I don't know exactly where that came.
But let's start with the proposition that it's Garlington and Shannon. Garlington is talking to Funk, who had him on FaceTime, and that's what Mr. Nichols allegedly told Rel, which was repeated by Funk to Garlington. So, I mean, we're talking about layers upon layers. And this is the classic nested hearsay. You can't just say if one statement, the first conversation comes in, everything else in the world comes in. It doesn't.
Well, I don't think it does, but the state seems to think that there's law that says it does. So we're going to let them find that. And
So can we play it for the
And if you just want to point me to wherever the original motion is or response is, I can read it on my own. But I mean, if that's easier than you trying to find it right now.
Your Honor, I'm trying to find both the date and the motion itself.
Just be patient. Give it a date. Good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just tell them to be patient, bro. Work out.
I already know that part. I just like, I know like how that go. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really tripping on that. I ain't tripping. Like I've been just trying to keep Buddy calm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, do that. Okay. Yeah, bro.
I don't really be liking that coaching and shit. That shit had me all out. Like,
yeah, I talk the phone. Like, I been on bro. Like, he got in FaceTime. Like, oh, what's up with Quay? Like, what the hell? I don't know Quay on the phone saying something. Like, I don't know if he on shit. Like, he told real, like, man, tell Buddy got there and get his lawyer, bro. We did that shit for him. He paid, you know what I'm saying?
What?
Yeah, that was phone told me. He like, bro, tell him, chill out, man.
Nah, I ain't know nothing about that.
Yeah, then we out downstairs. He was like, yeah, they was on the cell phone, but I ain't even say nothing. So I'm like, I know they ain't even upstairs.
Can you play just maybe the last 30 seconds again?
Yeah, I don't know Quay on the phone saying something. Like, I don't know if he on shit. Like, he told real, like, man, tell Buddy got there and get his lawyer, bro. We did that shit for him. He paid, you know what I'm saying?
What?
Yeah, that was phone call.
You want to keep going?
He like, bro, tell him, chill out, man.
Nah, I ain't know nothing about that.
Yeah, then we out downstairs. He was like, yeah, they was on the cell phone, but I ain't even say nothing. So I'm like, I know they ain't even upstairs. I'm like, ain't even got access to no phone.
Hell nah, he wasn't nothing like that. I don't think he said no shit like that, though.
Yeah. But then, I thought, what, that was
Alright.
telling somebody, what the hell is he saying? For me.
Okay, thank you.
So, Your Honor, our position is that what he is pushing back against, and it's the context of that statement that is the most important, because they're trying to relay to keep someone calm, and that they were talking to Enfant, who was a is a co-defendant who pled guilty in this case, and they are alarmed at the fact that another member is potentially on a jail call saying that we did that for bruh. And that's the point at which Shannon is pushing back, saying like, what?
Right.
Like, I can't believe that. And then he's like, nah, you know, he didn't do that. And the other guy says, you know, I don't know, he could have been on a cell phone or what, but that's what I heard him say. So his alarm isn't at, he's lying on me. His alarm is that, and this is what we would argue, of course, anyone can make their own arguments at trial, but we believe that this is what the evidence shows, that the alarm is at the fact that this person on a jail phone is saying something highly incriminating to them and sharing this information between them all. And the alarm in itself is evidence of the fact that this whole conversation is in furtherance of that conspiracy, which is the enterprise that is YSL and the criminal street gang activity of YSL. So none of it is hearsay when all of it is statements of a co-conspirator. It is their reaction to their
It's
belief.
still hearsay, even if it's a statement of a co-conspirator. So I mean, at some point y'all are saying this isn't hearsay because we're not offering it for the truth. So I know that's not what you meant, but let's try to keep the terminology clear.
You're right. You're very, very right.
And I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want to make clear, like, you know, we
You're
got
right. That's
we have got
important.
to all be clear about what we are saying and what we mean by what we're saying.
Your Honor is absolutely right.
All right.
And so that is, we are saying that there is an exception.
Right.
And that this is the exception that it falls under.
Okay. All right. And so again, I understand that the conversation between Stillwell and Garlington might come in under a co-conspirator exception to hearsay. The thing that is at issue is the relaying of Nichols allegedly having said, you know, whatever he said, you need to line up a lawyer or whatever, you need to pay for it because we did this for Buddy.
Right.
And the concern is that either that part is being offered for its truth, or even if it's not, that certainly once the jury hears that, they take that as evidence that it is true.
Understood. So
do I understand you to be arguing that that part of that is also co-conspirator exception, or no?
I need to address that part of it. So one moment, Your Honor.
Sure. Do I have the argument correct that y'all are propounding?
Well, yes. And if, while they're gathering this, Mr. Atkins is listening, I hope. So can I respond? If we break this down, here's what the sentences were. Garlington says, I talked to Funk. I've been with bruh. I don't know who that is. And he, I don't know whether that refers to Funk or bruh. And he had me on FaceTime. That could refer to either one of those people. What's up with Quay? That's the next question, next statement. Why the hell? I don't know. Quay on the phone saying something like, I don't know if he, and again, we got a he on shit. I don't know who the he is referring to. He told Rel, that's another person, that's another layer.
And that's somebody who's listening, that's not somebody who's talking. So anyway, and also, can I get this portion of what you've written down as a transcript? Because it would be most helpful.
I can give you what we have, yes.
Okay.
But I'm breaking it down because now we're on a third person. He told,
His breakdown is hilarious.
Keep going.
Okay, he told Rel, and I don't know who Rel is, and I don't know whether Rel told Funk, and I don't know whether Rel told Bra.
Right.
We have no clue.
Okay, but keep going.
Okay, he told Rel, like, tell Buddy, god dang, get a lawyer, bruh. We did that shit for him, he paid, you know? And then Garlington says, you know what I'm saying, to Garfield. To Shannon, I'm sorry. And Shannon says, what? And Garlington says, yeah, that's what Funk told me. He was like, tell homie to chill out, bro. Now who's homie? And who's
Jason's
the bro?
homie.
I mean, we have so many layers of unknown, and nested hearsay is exactly that. That's the whole point.
Okay, so the short answer is yes, I've got your argument correct in terms of understanding what it is you're arguing.
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, to be clear, because I may not articulate this well,
Somebody's going to be
position,
clear.
What Mr. Harvey just broke down, at least what these statements they say.
Yeah.
Funk,
who
was a defendant in this case, and the state believes was a YSL
Say it again.
street gang member. Him telling Garlington that Nichols needs to chill. Funk isn't charged with the murder of Shamel Drink, so him telling him that is a statement in furtherance of the conspiracy.
Nichols needs to chill. That's not what I'm concerned about.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm
concerned about the Funk saying, Garlington saying Funk told him that Nichols said he needs to pay. We did this for him, so he needs to get us a lawyer.
And Your Honor, the state feels.
But said it to Rel, not to
It
Funk.
doesn't matter who he said it to.
Who's homie? Homie don't play that as who's homie.
Sounds like Funk heard it regardless.
No.
Do I have that part wrong?
I think you do, because he said it to Rel. Rel said it to somebody else.
Nichols said it to Rel.
Well,
Allegedly. Allegedly, I understand.
Yes. And then Rel to Funk, then Funk to Garlington. So that's 4 layers at least.
So, Your Honor, two things is, and the court may just disagree with my argument, which in terms of
What I like is some law.
Yes, Your Honor. So the case law I was referencing earlier, I will find this date, but there's no double hearsay issue. The statements are admissible without a showing of the declarant's personal knowledge. And I may have been off kilter where I was thinking of, this is what I was thinking of when I referenced to the court, that there's not double hearsay in this statement, is that and I will just cite to this motion because the court can read this, but I will find the date. But the state's position is that it is co-conspirator. It is in furtherance. Like the fact that Garlington is concerned or receives this
These nicknames, y'all.
That Nichols
These
made that
nicknames are out of
I
pocket.
understand that part. I
Yes, Your
agree
Honor.
with that part.
What was the craziest nickname y'all had for a friend growing
Do you
up?
understand what my
Put it in the chat.
concern is, Ms. Love? You seem to
Craziest nickname you had for a friend
before,
growing
and I'm
up.
sure Mr. Atkins
I gotta think
understands
about
it too.
that.
He's just too busy looking
I-
up trying to find the law.
Saltine cracker.
Yeah, go ahead.
That kernel in the middle.
No, I didn't give it to him.
On Funk
I just
said,
had a friend named Saltine Cracker because he was thin and white.
Tell somebody we did this for bro. Nichols saying we did this for bro.
Junebug. I had a friend named
Nichols
Junebug.
saying we did this for bro. I'll start out by saying, at best or worst, whichever you might want to look at it, Nichols is implicating himself and not Shannon necessarily. He hadn't said Shannon did anything. He's saying me and somebody else did this for bro. So that's to start there. As to Mr. Sharp's argument that it necessarily implicates Shannon, who has to push back. Number 2, Funk being a co-defendant
That is the
of
craziest
Mr.
name.
Nichols and a co-conspirator of Mr. Nichols, relaying what Mr. Nichols told to
Wow.
him. Whether or not Mr. Nichols said it or not, it's statements
All
that
of us are
Unfunk is
brothers.
asserting
All of us are brothers.
Mr.
For real.
Nichols gave to him, even though it's a statement against the penal interest of Mr. Nichols. The reliability
I don't even know how to pronounce that.
of the statement, the statement itself being the hearsay issue, we believe is dealt with in that it would be Mr. Nichols, a co-conspirator of Unfunk, relaying something in confidence to Unfunk or saying something in confidence to somebody else.
I'm going to need the other lawyer to read the transcript again. That was
I need him to do that. I
hilarious.
agree.
Person reliable enough to share something that inculpatory with. Unfunk is not trying to harm Mr. Nichols, so he's not going out lying on Mr. Nichols. He's sharing this information in an effort to help Mr. Nichols, get him to shut up and stop talking. They all are trying to get.
I'm going to need her to do that.
I need her to
So
stop
in
talking.
terms of the reliability
I agree
of the
100%.
information, nobody here has any reason to share inaccurate information. It only furthers their purposes to be truthful about what's happening so that they can further protect themselves and inoculate themselves from any harm coming
How
from
you
this
get that nickname?
man talking.
Mm-hmm.
So the harms and dangers of hearsay that are normally present when, the whole reason it's kept out is, we don't know if it's true or not, are handled and dealt with by the circumstantial, I hate to use
Oh, he
this,
actually spelled it.
guarantees of trustworthiness given
Okay.
that are present in the way that this statement comes
Rick
about.
Rack?
It's
Well,
told in
that's
a
a
way,
name.
it's relayed in a way that indicates it's shared in order to help, not to harm Mr. Nichols, to help all of them and keep them safe. So it's layered co-conspirator hearsay, if you will, but that first relaying of information, the declarant, Mr. Nichols, saying it to Unfunk, it would be definitely a statement against criminal interest.
That's wild.
But Mr. Greer, who is Unfunk, sharing that information is a co-conspirator statement, which we believe gets us past this idea that this is nested hearsay. And as far as the 403 argument that is being made, in order for it to be so unduly prejudicial as to permit its exclusion, it would have to lure the fact finder into declaring guilt on a ground different from proof specific to the offense charged. And that just doesn't exist.
She
here.
rambles so much. I don't even know what she's saying.
We don't believe that they have met, that, and by they I mean the opponents of this information coming in. They have not met their burden of showing that this statement from Unfunk regarding Nichols
Look,
telling
I stopped
on
listening to you
himself,
4 unthunks ago.
and basically Nichols trying to get help for himself, like bro needs to pay for a lawyer. We did it for him. We don't believe.
Hey, no, sir, Mr. Harvey, stop
Uh-oh.
right now. Stop right now. Stop.
It's going down for real.
Mr. Harvey, sit down. I am not going to have you interrupt court. You may object in just a moment. We will get to your objection in a moment.
Oh my.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. There has been no showing.
You done
that
got his ponytail in a tizzy.
information is so substantially more.
I ain't seen a rat tail in a minute.
Probative that it should permit the exclusion of what we believe is obviously relevant evidence.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Harvey, your objection.
Yeah, let's hear it.
The mic.
Turn his mic up. Listen, we can't hear him.
I don't even understand that to be what she said.
What did she say?
They cut his mic off.
Well, the
on
record will
purpose.
reflect what she said, but I understood her to be talking about what was being said within the context of this conversation we just listened to.
Your Honor, just
Yes.
Sorry. Go ahead, Mr.
Turn the mic on, Harvey.
I'm going to listen to it again. Offline, not in court.
Your Honor, this is where I'm at with this. Just because the state says something is so doesn't make it so.
Yes.
And the state is saying, oh, well, this was done in furtherance of the conspiracy. This was done in furtherance of the conspiracy. The whole point of the hearsay rules, and I understand that the confrontation clause might not be implicated here, but the hearsay rules, the whole point of the hearsay rules is you get to see who's saying it, know what their basis is, you get to cross-examine them, they come to court, etc. And the problem here is the state is just sitting here saying, oh, well, clearly Mr. Umfunk did this to further the conspiracy. And how do we know? How does she know?
Right.
Maybe Umfunk,
That's a good point.
I'm not saying this is the case, but what if Umfunk was involved? Umfunk would have every reason to shift responsibility to other people. What about the next line in the hearsay ladder that we have? We don't know what people's motivations are, and just because the state says, well, their motivation was to do this or do that, she's not inside Unfunk's head. She's not inside Rel's head. So
Hashtag blame Umthunk.
their argument that they can just label things as hearsay exceptions and it makes it so.
Well, I understand that. I take what everybody says as your argument in support of your position. I don't accept it as fact. It's an argument. I hear the counter argument. Sometimes I hear a lot more counter arguments back and forth after that, and then I make a determination about whether our evidence rules permit this particular evidence. The point of the hearsay rules and all of the evidence rules is so that to the extent the court can help it, only trustworthy information gets before the jury. And that's what we're trying to sort out here. So I understand that the stakes are high. I think that this might be a good time to break for the day.
I told you.
I
told you it's gonna be before 5.
Mr. Adkins, if you can find, either the date that I can find the motion or the case law itself, just send that to Ms. Pursfield. She'll send it on to me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I will try to get the court and send to Mr. Atkins what I read to the court as the transcript of
That would be great. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right.
All right. I know that y'all are all going to hate to hear this, but sometime during the day tomorrow, and I don't know when, and I don't know how long it's going to be, people are going to come in to work on what hopefully will be a fix to the sound issues we seem to have a lot of last week. And there are a couple of other things going on that the court needs to deal with as well, not with regard to this case, just in terms of scheduling tomorrow. It's going to be quite a challenge to figure out when we might actually be able to get here and use the courtroom for any, amount of time that will be worthwhile. And so we are not going to have a court day tomorrow. Y'all may have other cases to deal with, but to the extent you don't, please, continue to work on this case. We still have a lot of non-jury work to do. I think we did a good job this week of getting to the things that will be coming up in the next several weeks. So thank y'all, everybody, for working hard on that. And we're going to have to circle back on, the stuff that is still facing us in this wiretap and some other things. I understand the state is going to get witness 61 through the end and the information about the exhibits generally coming in with those witnesses to the defense by Monday. And I will see everybody Monday at 8:45. We'll have the jury back with us then. Okay? Anything anybody needs to put on the record
Wow.
before we adjourn for the day?
The question, Your Honor, we were internally, we wrote down the dates that the court said that we had admin days, but as I was speaking with one of the counsels for defendants, she and I, my team did not have the same recollection. Was that there was another period of time that the court had mentioned that we would have the ability to further make these arguments. Was this the only week?
This is the only week so far that I know of, that I have established. I mean, I didn't establish this week, but I have not established other dates that we're going to be in court without a jury. We are going to have to determine what those are because we clearly need some more of them. But the dates that I've given to y'all and to the jury so far are dates that the jury will be out and we also will be out. So I'll just have to, I know one of the things I need to do is figure out some more in court for us, but non-jury dates. And I anticipate
amazing.
Some of them will be maybe the third or fourth week of September. At some point, I'm going to try to make them either beginning of the week or end of the week, but I don't know yet. So I'll have to get back to everybody on that. All right. Anything else?
Just for the record, on that last argument that you're considering, it's OCGA 24-8-805. That is what we are traveling under.
Man.
It's OCGA, Official Code of Georgia Annotated 24-8-805.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. I doubt if many people know that. They just know hearsay within hearsay. But thank you. All right. If there's nothing else, then we are adjourned.
Wow. I'm sorry. That has got to be amazing. All right. Wow. Okay. I'm going to wait to see if this case, if they really, if they come back. Periodically, they'll cut off the camera. They cut it off for real. Never mind. They mean business. Wow. So that was kind of sparky at the end. So Judge Whitaker has canceled court tomorrow. They will have the jury back on Monday. Now, she did not say that they're going to have Woody there, though. I wonder if that's just if that's assumed, because she doesn't say Woody's going to be back. Man, they are dragging this thing. You can't say it's a defense. You can't say it in good faith. He got everybody sent home early. Yeah, he done went showed out. He done showed out. Yeah. Now I will say this though. Every court seems to be full or be used. I'm sorry. Every court that I've walked by seems to be used. So there's not like, well, why don't they just go use an extra court, or is there an empty court? As far as I know, I didn't wander around the whole building. When I was there, every court was being used. So maybe that's why. And it also, shout out, I did get my Rule 22. My Rule 22 is for a particular courtroom, not just a particular case. The case is being tried in that courtroom. And I think that's actually why, for whatever reason, that this is the same court that Judge Glanville was in. They basically moved Judge Glanville somewhere else in the building, and Judge Whitaker is running the ship in the court that Judge Glanville was in. And looking at my Rule 22, it's only for a particular courtroom and a particular case. So I'm wondering if that's why they can't move around or whatever like that, because they've locked this room down and for this particular case, and people have their media credentials for this particular room. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not 100% certain at all, but I'm just wondering if maybe that's why. Thank you for the super chat. What does Donna say? She says, wow, Sis Wit needs a vacay before jury comes back. I mean, but again, this is all her fault, though. She did this to herself. I'm sorry. Thank you again for that, Donna, and I agree with you. This trial is holding up courts. I agree. There are whole resources being squandered with this court. So, yeah. But if she does, being the fact that she gave so much latitude to them today, it was crazy. Now, let me be transparent. I can understand what they're saying. I just disagree with it because I'm like, how do you, and I wish Shard had said that earlier. Like, how do you know this stuff? That should have been said yesterday, even probably even Tuesday. Because again, like, how do you know the mind of the people that you're wiretapping, people that you're eavesdropping on or whatnot? Like, how do you know what they're thinking? You could assume the worst, but as Harvey showed us, who's bruh? Like, who's homie? Who are you talking about? Again. So I like the term nestled hearsay. So basically like Chinese telephone. We're just playing a game of telephone at this point. Yeah, I think Shard should have said that, like, that should have been said like Monday, truth be told. Because it was right on the money. Once they stopped listening to Woody's interviews, he should have said that. Oh, no. I've been saying that there's no evidence, Rome. I've been saying that. I agree with you. There's no evidence to these facts. Now, sure, now there are bodies and there's shell casings and there's cars that have been shot up and homes that got holes in them. I got you. But a lot of what you're talking about here, you're trying to correlate it. Well, just because somebody's house got shot up 3 days ago and these people are talking about guns, that they shot the house up. How do you make that jump? How do you make that jump? I had to go get President Firstborn gas. I don't let my wife and daughters go to gas stations. So she's like, Dad, I got 2 bars left on the gas tank. I said, no problem. We just got to go get your gas. So there it is. So I guess but look, I stay on Rico. Ballhead men on Rico, according to this, man. This is craziness. Clearly, everybody who rocks a galaxy is Rico. So we already know that's true. Oh, by the way, I got a text. Remember I was saying I've never been polled before. I guess I was talking trash on the show saying I've never been polled before. I've never been asked about my political affiliations or who am I voting for. Ever since I said that, I've been getting texts and these little silly things. But this one is for Kamala, and they want some money. They want some bread. And they will not get any bread from the hitman. That's for sure. Y'all gonna stay hungry. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. I know Jesus said feed the hungry, but I ain't feeding y'all. Y'all gonna stay broke. But anyway, so yeah. But this case is crazy, man. And I think everybody, when she said that, there was a collective like, no, like a sigh, like you gotta be kidding me. No. I knew it. I knew she was gonna get out of there early today, because she was. Okay, I gotta use my school teacher analogy. When teachers start school year off, they start off brand new. They got new. Everything is new and fresh. They got this new game plan. They read some books. They went to a conference over the summer. They prayed. They meditated. They relaxed for 3 days straight. And they're ready, and they get in their classroom, and they're going to give those kids the business. Those little kids are going to learn. Usually by the first month, it's a wrap. You back to your old habits. You might be holding on to a shoestring. You probably done pulled out your old lesson plans. You whiten out the dates, rechange the dates. It's all hit the fan. And if it doesn't, by Thanksgiving, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So I think Judge Whitaker came in there like a new teacher. I'm about to get these wild attorneys in this big old case. I'm gonna get them all moving in the right direction. I'm gonna get them in the order. And she thought so. And she talked a lot of game. No chewing gum, no eating, no being late. everything she said, she's violated. Every last one of them. And you can't tell me, I mean, Adrian Love and Hilton were sitting right there eating. Right in front of her. I've seen Young Thug popping snacks in his mouth. Everything she said. So I think she came in probably with good intentions, probably with really good desire to get this thing on track. And she's still gonna get this thing to the end. It's gonna be a dead carcass that she done drug across the finish line at the Kentucky Derby. But she gonna get that horse across that finish line. It's a wrap. We can give up on mistrial. Mistrial has left the chat. That being the case, however, so she gonna get across there, hook or crook, high water, whatever. She gonna get it there. That being the case, though, she has to realize this is her fault because she is not demanded and required. I mean, this work day is a lot of pretrial stuff that should have been done with Glanville. So if they were ready to go to war, was about 11 months ago almost, whenever they started, I think it was November. If they were ready to start in November, then all this stuff should have at least been done. So what have you been doing? And of course, every week you like replenish or whatever like that. Why are you not replenishing? There's a lot of stuff that should have been thrown out on its ear. Oh, I love my Galaxy. I've been rocking Galaxies for years. I've never had another phone. Ever since I moved from BlackBerry, that's how long it is. When I moved from BlackBerry, I became a Galaxy person, and I absolutely love them. But so yeah, watching this, I think she really had good intent. I think she had really good intentions that she's gonna get this thing in order. I'm gonna come in here and rescue this case, and I'm gonna get it to where it needs to go and get it in ship-shape order. Blah 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 blah. And here we are. Here we are. So, it's wild. So, y'all, I don't. So that means there's no court tomorrow. So, I'm trying to think. I have several videos to drop. I have several. We'll probably do some video drops all day tomorrow. It's like video palooza, just cleaning out the traps. Got a lot of them. Oh my gosh, man! Let me tell you how much I loved BlackBerry. Man, I thought BlackBerry was a fantastic. I mean, it still is a fantastic phone. I have the BlackBerry Torch, I think it is. I have it in my car in a glove box. I don't know why I have it in the glove box, but it's in the glove box. I saw it when I swapped cars. I moved it out of one glove box, put it in the other glove box. But no, BlackBerry was a great. To me, BlackBerry is a perfect example of what happens when you're such a great company. You do not make changes and adjustments accordingly, and because there's no reason that Apple should have come in there and taken BlackBerry's lunch like they did. Because remember, BlackBerry was the corporate business phone for everybody. Everybody had a BlackBerry, especially in corporate. And then everybody else had a Nokia. Nokia was big. And we can talk about that for 2 days. So yeah, I mean, everybody had a BlackBerry. BlackBerries were popping. I don't care what nobody say. But again, when they just did not innovate fast enough. And when they did, they were clearly copying Apple's homework. I think the very last phone I saw of theirs, because the Torch was the last one I got, and I shifted over to like a Galaxy. I think it was like Galaxy 3 or something like that. The second to last one that you could change out the battery on. But anyway, yeah. So I've been on Team Galaxy for a while, but I think the last BlackBerry that they had, they were trying to do like a touch screen, and I think it worked out pretty well. But the problem was it looked exactly like Apple. Now, granted, there's not a lot of form factor difference that you can do when you just have a screen. So you can't be like totally innovative because it's just a screen. That being the case, however, it was just truly like you just looking at the kids' homework, like, oh yeah, and turned it in. So anyway, I thought that was fun. That was something different. All right. We will we'll do something tomorrow. even if I might find something, I got something in my mind I think we can do tomorrow. Just do a little live and has a little fun looking at some of the things with the case. But we will have the case on Monday. I'm not going to put my money on Steele getting his hands on Woody on Monday. I would like to be there to see it. So if I'm feeling comfortable that it's going to probably be Wednesday. I got a feeling it's going to be Wednesday. So, but I'm gonna test the water, put my finger in the air, see what I'm feeling. But I'm gonna go with, you know what? I'll go Tuesday or Wednesday. One of those 2 days is gonna be Brian Steele's gonna get his hands on Woody, and that's gonna be fireworks central. So whenever he gets his, somebody said Friday, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if they canceled today. Now I will say they've gotten a lot of work done, this week, but this is work that kind of seems daunting. Like, what's the purpose of it? So they're gonna have the jury back on Monday. They're gonna be playing those tinny videos and such like that. Brian Steele's probably not gonna get his hands on Woody until Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday. Because whatever they were gonna do Friday, they're gonna have to do that Monday. So then, yeah, so I'm not getting happy feelings about that, but and next Monday is Labor Day. You are right. Yeah, this case is every bit of 2026. I'm sorry. I don't see how this case is going to get any faster. And Judge Whitaker, that's going to be on her. She's going to be so mad. She's going to have to start doing something. She's going to have to start reining in the state. The state is the problem. I'm sorry. The state is the problem. Yeah, I'm not feeling anything better than Tuesday, maybe even, Wednesday for sure. Tuesday possible, but I'm gonna try to go down there and test out my Rule 22. I already printed it off and get it laminated. But like, bang! Watch out, security guard! Bang! Get out of my way! I got Rule 22, whatever that means. But y'all, I thank you so much, man. This was a lot of fun. Please check out. If you need a little hit of comedy and whatnot, I do have a playlist that I've been filling up, and it's called Love. So all my videos that I've been doing about Adrian Love, or kind of like highlighting some of Adrian Love isms, is in that playlist. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Let me grab it real quick and check it out. Let me know what you think. I do want to say thank you as the month of August is drawing to an end. I'm gonna try not to get fired. I'm gonna have like a hat. I'm trying to give me the fedora with press on the side. I'm trying my best. I'm gonna try, even though they're gonna make me take my hat off, but I'll be ready. I do want to say, as we're drawing close to the end of the month of August, YouTube's months kind of run over one another. So yesterday was the end of the month, and thank y'all so much. We hit almost better than 1 million views on this channel, which is amazing. I've never hit that many ever, and it's all because of y'all. The comments and the engagement, all that stuff, and the likes were well above anything I've ever had before. So I want to say thank you very much. We are, of course, getting close to the end of the actual month of August, and I think we're going to be well over 1.5 million views by the time the smoke clears, which is absolutely unheard of for me. I never would have thought we'd have got here. So I want to say thank you to each one of y'all, whether you like me, you don't like me, whether you say bad things about me and my beard or whatever. I don't care. I appreciate you taking the time to watch the videos and comment and all that kind of good jazz. Check out my Adrian Love playlist. Let me know what you think about it. I would love to hear your thoughts. I need to get cracking and get some editing done. And until next time, my good people, we will do some. Remember, look on the community post. There'll be something dropping real soon. So until then, everybody, I appreciate you. Grace and peace. You hit that button and it doesn't go off. It's like super slow. There we go.